What's the bleeding story? Friday night, baby, talking about DB10. Guinness flowing. Happy fucking days. Warren's in the house. Kyle Walsh is upside down. What's happening, Kyle? How are you doing?
Oh, good day, boy. And yourself, man?
Oh, great. Buzzing for this now. Looking forward to this. Looking forward to what Warren has done. He's done his homework. He's done everything. Warren, how are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm really looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be epic. I mean, the man was an absolute genius. So
exactly, yeah. Yeah, look, I suppose, look, we'll start into it, and what better goal to look at? And before we even, let's say, answer the question, right? Don't say it yet. I'm going to ask the question at the end about your favorite goal that he has scored, and probably your favorite moments. Doesn't have to be for Arsenal, can be for fucking anything, But look, we're talking about. I'm looking at the back arse of Andy O'Brien there that plays for Newcastle. Me and you, Kyle, would probably have seen that a lot because he wasn't the best centre halves in the world.
I said that why he could be better than the lads we have at the moment.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know if you guys seen it yesterday. I think it was when the full-time whistle went. Del Boy went into rant mode. The FAI were getting it. Some of the supporters were getting it. I was getting it. Mane was getting it. Everyone was fucking getting it. Not enough.
Well, then why? I'd just like to say that we're playing Malta next. And if Malta get a draw or beat Ireland, I don't ever want to see Stephen Kenny as manager of Ireland ever again. He should be sacked with immediate effect.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think you're being generous, but look, I won't get the blood going. I won't get it flowing. You know what I mean? And come here, actually, I think I've set up a few moderators and stuff like that. So, hopefully there's no fucking messers in the crowd, because if they are, they're getting monitorized, getting battered by the bouncers in the chat.
Did he send a letter or something to the supporters, Stephen Kenny, thanking them for their support?
Well, he didn't fucking send it to me.
Because I was watching it on an illegal stream, right, when I was in your chat, and I'm pretty sure that they said that he'd done a letter or something.
I think he did do some sort of fucking thing like that, just licking the fucking arse off the Irish fans, and whoever listened to him, but people that, not just myself or Kyle or anyone like that, but people who have been watching Ireland throughout the years are not going to stand for that shit. You know what I mean? I don't need a fucking letter to tell me, oh, I'm doing a good job, please stand by me. Fuck off, ask me balls. You know what I mean? I'm not even going to go into it. I'll go into it another time. I want to talk about one, if not the best player I love for Arsenal ever, is Dennis Bergkamp. And as you have there, the Iceman. But before I go into it, before we start, I want to hit up a few people because they're in the chat and we're flying here. We're flying low. Don't be on gunner time. NF, what's the bleeding story? How are you? Buffing. Exactly. I was fucking buffing. I was getting me Guinness ready, getting it sorted. Nip-On's in the house. What's the crack, man? How are you? Big up. Cheap Heat Productions podcast. Quick word on Stephen Kenny. We bring banners next time or what? Yeah, we will fucking bring banners. I'll tell you, I'll go over to fucking Malta and I'll fucking make sure he doesn't get in the fucking airplane back. Just put it that way. What's the crack? What's the bleeding story? Exactly, Nip-On. Craig's in the house. Big up, Craig. Del Boy, Warren, Kyle, big up. Paul's in the gaff. Good man, Paul. Hi, Del Boy, Warren and Kyle. Bruce Rioch's best ever signing. Exactly. And you know what? That's a good question for a pub quiz, because everyone thinks it was Wenger who signed him, and it actually wasn't. I actually knew that myself, because I remember having a wet dream the following day when he signed for us, because I was there. I can't fucking believe we're after signing Dennis fucking Bergkamp. Couldn't believe it. I was buzzing. Dennis Bergkamp always took more pleasure from credit goals than scoring them. He's just a fucking genius. Can you make me bad? Yeah, I'll give you a shout, Nip-On. 100%, mate. Dennis Bergkamp was cold as ice. Yeah, exactly. Del Boy, thank you for making me a pod. Much appreciated, mate. Yeah, Grant, no problem at all. I found out what to do. Gracie May gave me a tip, so fair play. Big up, Gracie May. Craig Bergkamp, the master. Jers in the gaff. One of the greatest geniuses, gifted players I ever seen playing football, from his brilliant Arsenal goal versus Southampton at Highbury to his final game against Wigan. Exactly. The man was an absolute genius, even for Holland as well. He was such a fucking good player. Dennis Bergkamp was the greatest number 10 I have ever seen in an Arsenal shirt. Craig, spot on, mate. Right, let's get fucking going. Where's Kyle Walsh? His head turned into an Arsenal sign there. He's popped off, because I know why he popped off. He'd be back in a minute. I think that Dennis Bergkamp got too much for him all of a sudden. We jumped in too quick. But anyway, Warren, do you want to start off anyway, and let's see where we go?
Right, okay. So, it's about his early life. He was born on the 10th of May, 1969, in Amsterdam in Holland. He was one of 4 children and was brought up in a working-class suburb of Amsterdam. His father gave him the name Dennis in honour of legendary Scottish striker Dennis Law, but because of Dutch naming regulations, an extra N had to be added to his name, as the registrar initially rejected his name. Now, I didn't know that before I did these slides, Del, that he had to put an extra N in his name because of the registrar. I just thought his dad had misspelled his name.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I was the same. I never knew that. I just thought it was a Dutch thing or something like that. I didn't think, I wasn't aware of that. That's the first now I'm after finding out about that. Kyle, I don't know if you heard what we were saying just there about Dennis Bergkamp. His dad named him after Dennis Law, and they couldn't put the registration wouldn't accept the DENIS, so they had to add in an extra N.
Yes. I knew that he called him after Dennis Law, but I didn't know that part now.
Yeah. I never even knew he called him after Dennis Law.
Yeah.
Right. So as a young lad, aged 11, he was spotted by Ajax and made his debut in 1986. Johan Cruyff gave Dennis his debut on the 14th of December 1986 in a game against Roda JC. He scored his first goal for Ajax against HFC Haarlem on the 22nd of February 1987. That season, he made 23 appearances and won the Cup Winners' Cup and was a substitute in the final. So it looks like he almost had an immediate impact, the young lad. So he was looks like he's about 17 when he made his debut, I think, if my math's not wrong. 18. 18. Yeah. So
he I suppose for such a young guy, and as the first slide says, the Iceman, you have to be nervous, and you're wanting to do well and everything like that for your first few games. But geez, that's not a bad record for the first, his debut, and then to score a few goals, first goal again for Ajax, 22nd of February. That's not bad. Nice. 23 appearances and won the Cup, Winners' Cup. And
look at the photo of him on the left as a young kid. He's still got that, the way he's crossing his arms. He carried on doing that throughout the whole. I've seen photos of him in his later life doing that pose.
Yeah, 100%. He even he means fucking business back then, only as a kid.
He doesn't like he's messing about, does he?
I think Kyle, must have robbed your hair there when he was younger, did he?
That's why it's all gone, son.
There you go.
You don't mind lending it to him. What a legend.
No, I let that man anything, that why anything.
In the following seasons, he established himself as a first-team regular, and he helped Ajax to win their first league title in 5 years in the 1989-90 season. In the 1991 season, Dennis scored 29 goals from 36 games and was joint top scorer with Romario. Bergkamp was the league's top scorer between 1991 and 1993 and was Dutch Footballer of the Year in 1992 and 1993. He scored 122 goals in 239 games for Ajax. Not too bad, really, is it?
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Pure class.
Like everyone would sort of say, "Oh, well, Messi and Ronaldo scores these goals." Yeah, they do. But football back then was fucking much harder. The defenders got away with murder, basically. Back here, challenges from the back, everything like that. A striker had to go through a lot back in the day. What do you make of that, Kyle?
I think it's a phenomenal record, and to be up there with the likes of Romario. What's that telling you?
Yeah.
Because Romario, to me, is possibly the greatest goal scorer in the game's history. But we're not talking about an ordinary player here, lads. We're talking about an absolute football genius, an icon.
Yeah, 100%, exactly. You know what I mean? And just before we go on, just please, people, subscribe to Warren's Team Talks and subscribe to Kyle Walsh Gunner and throw one on myself if you don't mind as well. Really do appreciate it. Just help us out. And, we'd appreciate it. Fair play. Warren, do you want to hit up the next one?
Yeah, and make sure you hit the like button for Dale as well. It's really important.
Cheers.
Seriously, it is. It really helps. And he started his career as a main striker. He wasn't a second striker when he started. He was I think I'm right in saying that when he started his career, he was like out and out goal scorer. So, and in those days, the standard of the football was a lot higher than what it is now. Well, that's my opinion. I thought it was, but
yeah.
Anyway, so let's move on. So Dennis made his debut for Inter Milan on the 29th of August, 1993 against Reggiana, and Inter won the game 2-1. He scored his first goal for Inter against Cremonese in September 1993. The found playing against Italian defence is difficult and scored 7 goals in his first season at Inter. That first season at Inter, he helped the club to win the UEFA Cup by beating Austria Salzburg 2-0 in aggregate in the final. His second season at the club was even more difficult due to injuries and fatigue after Holland's run at the 1994 World Cup, and he scored 5 goals in 26 appearances. His relationship with the media became strained, and it was no surprise when he left the club in June 1995. Now, it's worth pointing out as well that at this time, Italian football was probably the best league in the world, and their football was very much based on this thing called catenaccio. It's like a really ultra defensive style of football. So, and the defenders they had playing at these clubs were really top quality, best defenders in the world. So it's no surprise that he struggled to score, and he had a difficult time there, to be honest.
Yeah, I remember watching the documentary about him, and to go from, let's say, the big fish in the Dutch league at the time to go to Inter Milan. And as you said, rightly so, the Italian league was the number one league in the world. I'm sure Kyle will remember this. Every Monday evening, I think it was, they sort of done the Italian match of the day, on Irish television. And Jesus Christ, the Milan team, AC Milan, what a team. Probably one of the best, up there with the Barcelona team for me. Your Ruud Hullets and Jesus, SIE, all these top quality players, to go in to that league and especially for me, because I loved AC Milan at the time, to go to their rivals, was tough, and it was a brave decision from Bergkamp, still only young as well, I suppose. What do you make of that, Kyle?
Yeah, that boy, I remember the Italian league back then. I loved it. And I remember, I go back as far as saying, I remember Maradona playing for Napoli. So the Italian league, that boy, back in the day, it was massive. and you look forward to it. And the players, the defenders, the creative players, they were all brilliant players. It was a top league. It was the best league in the world at the time. And Bergkamp came from the Dutch league as a skillful flair player. And he went in against some top defenders. And I wasn't surprised that he did struggle. And he did struggle. And he struggled with the media as well, I remember. So it wasn't anybody's surprise when he did leave. But that Italian league was absolutely sensational. It was brilliant. Brilliant to watch. And like you said, Del Boy, you brought back lots of memories to me there. Monday, I think it was S4C or Channel 4 or something it was called.
Yeah.
And they showed all the highlights of all the games. Brilliant stuff. Absolutely brilliant.
It was because for me, I live down in the country, like in Roscommon. So like Kyle lives down in the country. I live in the bog. I'm a bog man. That's where I am. I'm not messing either. Why are you laughing at? I'm not here to fucking entertain you, is that me?
We're in the English countryside. There you go. Amongst the apple trees.
Yeah.
Apparently, before he went to Inter Milan, Real Madrid were trying to sign him as well.
Wow.
Right? Jesus. And Johan Cruyff persuaded him not to go. He warned him about it. He said, don't go. Whatever you do not go to Real Madrid. And throughout his career at Arsenal, Real Madrid tried to get him off us a few times and he wouldn't go. So it's probably got something to do. That's probably got something to do with Johan Cruyff as well. But yeah, Carl, I remember every Sunday here on Channel 4, we used to have this football show for Italian football. And they would have one live game and then they'd have a magazine program during the week as well about Italian football. And it was superb.
What fucking rotten you were when you were younger. Jesus Christ. We had 2 fucking channels.
That's when football was football, though, Warren. The players were like there's the season, for example, me and my brother were watching Sky Sports and they had a little thing up there about Robert Perez. And we were just saying they don't make players like that anymore. Them type of footballers and that style of football is back in the past. And we'll never see football like that again. We were lucky to see what we saw. I pity the young people of today that's getting into the game now because they've no idea what real football was about.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So I'll move on, Dale.
Yeah, go for it, yeah.
So Dennis Bergkamp signs for Arsenal. In June 1995, Arsenal announced they had signed Dennis Bergkamp from Inter Milan in a £7.5 million deal. Now, I remember this because the chairman, right, there was all these rumours that Arsenal were going to sign him. And the chairman came out and he said, yes, your information is correct. We have signed Dennis Bergkamp, right? And I was like, God almighty. It was unbelievable. Anyway, Dennis made his debut for Arsenal on the first day of the 1995-96 season against Middlesbrough on the 20th of August. He initially took time to settle and scored his first 2 goals for Arsenal in a home game against Southampton on the 23rd of September 1995. He would go on to score 11 goals in 33 appearances, which included the winning goal against Bolton on the final day of the season, which qualified Arsenal for the UEFA Cup. Now, I remember as well, when he signed, Arsenal had a friendly against Inter Milan, a Highbury, and that friendly was organised as part of the transfer. So I think all the money, the gate receipts and the programme sales and everything all went to Inter Milan as part of the transfer deal. But it was it was so exciting, like watching him. Do you know what I mean? I was just thinking, easy. Do you know, it was crazy. Just when
we signed for us, like 1995 was a big year for me because when I moved from Roscommon to Dublin, I moved in September. It was the end of August, actually, the last week in August of 95. And I remember at the time, I was just buzzing that we'd signed Bergkamp. I was just going, oh my God, we've signed Dennis Bergkamp. I cannot believe this. Now, for me, when I lived down in Roscommon, there was 0 Arsenal supporters around me. None. And then I moved up to Dublin, as it says, in August. And then just literally up the road from me, the houses are all joined. About, say, 15 houses up from me, there was a brother and Mark and Alan, 2 brothers. And they came out, and that jersey reminds me of them too, because they had the 2 jerseys on them, and they used to be always out in the field playing, and they were me mates. I was there. They're fucking Arsenal supporters. They're wearing the new jersey. Man, please, can I have the new jersey? I want the Bergkamp number on the jersey, please. I remember begging her. I never got the jersey, but I'm only messing. No, I'm not only messing. No, I got the jersey, but that's what that jersey reminds me of, and it's the signing of Dennis Bergkamp. And like, as you says, like, you know, the hype for me was just unbelievable. We didn't, like, you know, you were reading newspapers and everything that had Bergkamp on it, I was reading it. Anything, like, you know what I mean? Magazines, like, you know, I was going to say Playboy magazines, not Playboy magazines, Match magazines, and you know what I mean? But yeah, how was it for you, Kyle, when he signed?
I was very, I was skeptical. I wasn't over the moon, that boy, to be honest, because I knew he was after struggling in Italy. And I thought to myself, well, he's coming to the Gunners. He might struggle now in the English Premier League as well. So I cannot say that I was jumping around for joy. But then again, they could sign Zinedine Zidane and Pele, and you wouldn't see me excited. But no, I was skeptical that boy for a while. And then when he did come, if you remember back, the few games wasn't great. Great. So I was kind of saying to myself, are we actually buying a fucking dud? Or what's going on? And then that boy, he scored them 2 goals against Southampton. Then I remembered, I think it was the first or the second one where it went in off the post. It was a sensational strike. And from that day on, Dennis Bergkamp became, as far as I'm concerned, the greatest player ever to wear the Arsenal jersey.
Yeah.
And proved me wrong. But yeah, no, it took me a while, that boy, to get excited, to be honest.
Yeah.
Took me a while.
Fair enough, yeah. I just, for me, it was just, I was buzzing. I was really, really buzzing. You know, I just want to read out 1 or 2 of these comments because they're building up here. Jared, it's a massive shame that Bergkamp wasn't part of the fantastic Ajax team in Champions League winning 1995. Yeah, like, you know, I do. Like, you know, I feel sorry, all right, with that as well, because, like, what a player, you know, he deserves to win all these top trophies, and it's a pity he didn't. His first goal versus Southampton at Highbury was so brilliant. And you know what, Jared, the thing about that is, right, the pressure that was on him, and I think as fans, we were hoping he's going to come good, because as you said, Kyle, he hadn't scored in a few games. And it was getting to a stage, like what Kyle was saying, are we after getting a dud here? Is this a bad player we're after signing? But when he scored that goal, I remember watching on Match of the Day, because I didn't get it live at the time, but it was like Match of the Day was like going to mass for me. I never missed one program, 1 second of it. And I remember when it came on, and I remembered I always used to tell my dad, anytime I come in, please turn off the radio, turn off the telly. I don't want to know any score. I want to be watching Match of the Day like it's live. You know, that's the way I used to watch it. And when he scored that goal, I remember my dad just goes, I won't say it, son, I won't say it, but you'll be happy tonight. All right. So I was just there thinking, they fucking won. I says, you don't be bleeding telling me that. And when he scored the goal, I was screaming, and just the pressure was released. And I feel for him after he scored and his sort of celebration, he was just, this is it. Let's fucking go. Let's go. What your Southampton goal, Warren, sorry. Were you sort of feeling the same? Did you ever think that we signed a dud, or did you think, no, relax, guys, relax?
No, I was concerned But I never thought at any point that we'd signed a dud. Because there was this thing starting to go around in the Premier League at that point that foreign players needed a year to settle. And I was thinking, yeah, well, just maybe he needs time to adjust. And he'd had a rough time of it in Italy. And I just thought, well, maybe his confidence has taken a bit of a knock. And, when he scores one, it'll be fine. And but the thing is, I was just so excited, and I was thinking, people were opposition fans were bantering me about it as well, the fact that he hadn't scored, and I was going, he'll score, don't worry, just relax.
Yeah.
And when he scored them 2 goals, all that nonsense stopped.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, because like that, me and me 2 mates, up the road, we were starting to get because we were so cocky going, we're after getting Bergkamp, and then okay, he hasn't scored yet. Okay, another week he hasn't scored. Okay, oh shit, what the fuck is going on? Will you score? But when he did score, the pressure was it was released, and I think you can even see it from him from when he scored. He released the pressure, going, "Let's go, baby! Fuck Italy! I'm in England. I'm gonna wreck the place."
Yeah.
Craig, did you hear that story?
Tony Adams.
How he bumped into Ian Wright
at the petrol station.
Petrol station.
Yeah.
Right? That petrol station is the first junction between here, where I live, and the first junction up the road on the M25. That big motorway that goes around the outside of London. So it's probably about 10 minutes away. Anyway, Ian Wright saw him in the motorway and he goes, Dennis Bergkamp, what's he doing here? And so Wrighty went over and had a chat with him. He goes, what are you doing around here? And he goes, yeah, I've just signed for Arsenal. And Dennis Bergkamp goes, what?
No way.
Yeah, apparently so. He was absolutely overjoyed about it. So
that did happen. Yeah. That did happen because I was at a wedding with Ian Wright, and Ian Wright told me that story. He said he was after hearing on the radio that Bergkamp was after signing for Arsenal, and he said literally 2 minutes later I put into a petrol garage, and here was Dennis Bergkamp.
Wow, that's a good story.
And Tony Adams, by the way, Tony Adams grabbed Dennis Bergkamp by the throat in the dressing room and said to him, "You're here to play football for Arsenal. Start fucking playing." And Bergkamp said, "I scored 2 goals the following game."
Oh, fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Big T. He's a fucking legend. I love that. I just want to hit up Craig's here question. Do you think Arsenal could have won the Champions League if Bergkamp didn't have the fear of flying? Warren, I'll hit you with that real quick.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But it's not his fault. He can't blame someone because of phobia they've got. One of my best mates has got a fear of flying, and it's no joke. It's not. He's terrified of it. He lives.
You know how he got that?
And he has to travel backwards and forwards to Warsaw when he comes here to see his family by coach, and it takes 2 days to get here. And that's the same when he goes back again. And I'm telling you, it's no fucking joke. Do you know what I mean? It's a really big thing. And some of the lines, they do courses for people now to help them get over the fear of it. But it's I don't think he'll ever get over it, to be honest.
Do you know how he got that, Warren? I do.
Go on.
It was going into the World Cup '94, and they were landing in I think it was JFK or Newark or somewhere like that. I think it was JFK. I think it was. And I've landed there myself, and they were having a sort of a bad coming in, landing, and a bit of turbulence and stuff like this. And when you come into JFK, it's like you're landing in the water. So he actually thought the plane was going down and crashing, but it was actually coming down onto the runway. It's right beside the water, and the sea, and he was fucking shitting himself because the flight over, turbulence and everything like that, the nerves were gone on him. And then next thing, fucking this all happened. And it just clicked something in his head and just says, fuck that. So that's basically, that's what I heard. I may be fucking wrong, but Yeah, that's what I heard. We'll go to the next one. I just want to get through one or two of these comments. Terry Bergkamp, Vieira, Beckham, only players I admire as LFC supporter. Yeah, look, yeah, I'd have to agree with you. And two of them are Arsenal players. Fair play to you. And big up, Danny. Alex, hi guys. Good man, Alex. How you doing, buddy? Jared, to this day, Leicester 3-3 draw at Filbert Street goal is my greatest Bergkamp moment ever. I'll come to that at the minute. I know what you're saying, Jared. French people never rated Henry as one of the best. Fair enough. Zizou is 2-5 in history. But yeah, Zidane was just fucking absolutely outstanding. Let's be honest about it, Great question. Craig, great question. Truthfully, I don't know. Well, yeah. Danny, you forgot Gerrard. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was surprised you had Vieira and Bergkamp in there and no Stevie G. So Stevie G for me is up there as well. I love his goal versus Argentina in the 98 World Cup. Yeah. Arsenal, Bergkamp. Keane. Man United, Keane. Yeah, good one. Chelsea, Terry. Yeah. Henry in France is not that great. Bergkamp is above Henry. Bergkamp has 3 league titles. What more you want? Style backed by titles. Best Arsenal player. See, that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? People these fucking top class fucking players like Dennis Bergkamp winning it all. Right, Warren, do you want to hit us up with the next one?
Yep. So after Bruce Rioch left Arsenal, after the end of the 1995-96 season, it brought back bad memories for Dennis of what had happened at Inter. Arsene Wenger joined Arsenal and it soon reassured Dennis. Arsene made Dennis a key part of Arsenal's attacking play and revolutionised Arsenal's players' diets and their training regime, which pleased Dennis. That season, Dennis played a key part in Arsenal finishing third in the league and providing 13 assists. In the home North London clash against Spurs, he set up Tony Adams to score, and then in injury time, he scored a brilliant goal himself. Now, in the picture, you can see him taking the shot, which gave Arsenal the third goal, and he's a shoot the ball past a fella that you two guys probably know quite well.
He lives up the road from me. Another fucking Irish getting bleeding schooled. But I remember that goal actually. Yeah, it
was brilliant and it was great play from me right down the line, and then he crossed it, and then the control from Bergkamp. Brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like. He just when he sort of got going, okay, he always came good. Like when we needed something, he'd do something magical to fucking get us. If we were losing 1-0 or it's 0-0 or 1-1 or whatever, he had something just to spark the team, get it going. We haven't had that in a few years, I think, at Arsenal. Maybe debatable a few, what about this player, Jesus or whatever nowadays and stuff like that. Not on the same level. You know what I mean? Not near anywhere near Bergkamp or anything like that. But if you had to sort of name a player in world football, Warren and Kyle, who would you sort of his type of player?
Nowadays.
Yeah, like let's say if you were talking to a young person and you go, well, who nowadays could you relate to Bergkamp? You know what I mean? Like, I suppose he's sort of a mixture between De Bruyne and Haaland.
Yeah,
something mixture like that.
Haaland, but
De Bruyne,
more of an out-and-out goal scorer, but in the role that he was playing when he was at Arsenal, I would say De Bruyne.
Yeah. And you just look at how, all the credits that De Bruyne is getting now. He's probably one of the best players in the world and all this stuff. If Man City won the Champions League this year, De Bruyne, Haaland would probably be in for the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
Then why? In world football, the only player you could say is De Bruyne that's playing in today's football, today's world. But even at that, De Bruyne is nowhere near Dennis Bergkamp level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with Kyle. I don't think that De Bruyne is as good as Bergkamp.
Yeah.
I don't. I think Bergkamp's a level above. The only other player that I've seen, I mean, I'm not including Maradona, Messi, Ronaldo, Pele, and all of this. But the only player that sort of I saw that was of similar standard to him was the guy who played for the Italian national team with the ponytail.
Roberto Baggio.
Baggio.
Yeah, Baggio. He was unbelievable player, but Dennis Bergkamp, mate, I just think he's one of the very few players that we've ever signed who was actually world class when we signed him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, Mesut Ozil was as well, but he never produced at Arsenal, in my opinion.
Fuck Ozil, the fucking prick.
Yeah.
Alexis Sanchez, I personally think was. I believe he was world class when we signed him. And I'm still gutted that he left, because I think with his attitude, we could do with him now in the squad. Do you know what I mean? With his the way he used to run around and close people down all the time. It'd be a good example to the younger players. Probably now he'd be a bit too old, but it'd be good to have him around the squad. Maybe coach people and not. But anyway, we're not here to talk about him. We're
Yeah. Wait, do you want to go to the next one there?
Yep. So Arsenal win the 1996 League and Cup double. In the 1996-97 season, Dennis was Arsenal's leading goal scorer with 22 goals. On the 13th of December 1997, Arsenal lost 3-1 at home to Blackburn, a result which left them in 5th place in the league, 7 points behind leaders Manchester United, having played a game more than United, so effectively 10 points. This led many to write Arsenal off. Following their defeat at home to Blackburn, Arsenal went on an unbeaten run, winning 15 games, drawing 3 and losing none until they were crowned champions with 2 games left to play.
Yeah, I think that was just a typo. It was the 97-98 season. It's no big deal. We all know. But I'll never forget sort of when we did win the title, and just actually an honorary mention to Overmars as well. Like, what a player! Like, he's up there with Perez for me. You know what he could do. He fucking destroyed Man United in Old Trafford. What was it? Because the Ajax thing is that how they got talented? Like, you know what I mean? The Ajax thing back then was really fucking good. They were a great team as well. Do you think that, Warren? Like, was it the Dutch effect? With the likes of Overmars and Bergkamp?
I do, but this brings me back to. I know you don't want to talk about last night, but this is a key example of what I'm talking about when I'm going on about coaching. That country, Holland, is of a similar size to Ireland and Scotland in terms of population. Look at the players that country has produced.
Yeah.
Right? Why can't we do that? It's not because, when they're born, like God sits there and thinks, yeah, well, they're Dutch, we're going to make them good at football. Those two, they're born in Dublin, the other one's born in Edinburgh, so they're going to be shit. It just doesn't work like that. And I get really angry when people say, oh, it's because the countries are bigger and they've got more players to choose from. No, it's bullshit. It's about the coaching. That country at that time was coaching youngsters properly how to play the game of football. And that's why you've got those 2 players there, Dennis Bergkamp and Overmars. It's why, because they've nurtured their talent and brought them on, and taught them how to play properly.
Yeah,
Sorry about that, but I had to say it because it's a perfect example.
Well, look, I'll read this question and I want to sort of back up what you were saying there, right? Just Jared, I was at Highbury for the Barnsley game, scored goals straight into the top left-hand corner. And we were so spoiled, I suppose, Jared, because we were sort of nearly getting used to Bergkamp, just like, top corner, just swoop it in around, give it to Dennis, it's going in, top ins, you know what I mean? Fuck him. It's unreal. But just to go back there, sorry, Warren, to what your point, I agree 110% with you. Because the team that I coach, okay, none of them, like, I have too big of a squad now. You know what I mean? Because I'm getting so many good players coming to my team because they're hearing about the coaching. It's not fucking me doing the coaching. I'm the manager. You know what I mean? I'm sitting there in my fucking suit, me Armani suit, walking up and down the line, throwing out the hands left, right, and centre, looking good, like, you know what I mean? And all the mothers and all going, Jesus, Del Boy's a bit of all right, isn't he? I'm only fucking joking, I'm not. But anyway, what I'm saying is, on a Wednesday night when the training, I have this fella down who does the coaching for me, okay? He does Dutch training, Dutch football training, so I'm getting my team coached that way. Now, I haven't told me club that he's all like, he's vetted and all this. This is what he does. This is his full-time job is to train kids. You know what I mean? It's like you have to pay extra for this. But I said it to the parents, up throws a few quid and we pay extra for this. Fuck the club. They want us to, in-house training and the FAI and let's go with the FAI the way that they say it. Fuck the FAI. I'll teach the kids this way because this way is fucking proven. Dutch football, as you said it, Warren. Why are they always up there, like competing for fucking World Cups, European Cups? Their international players are on the top leagues of the world, playing for the top teams. It's not a fucking coincidence that they've been doing this for years and years and years and years. It's not a coincidence. And as you said there, Warren, the Holland is smaller than fucking Ireland. You know what I mean? The population might be a bit extra. I don't know. I'm not at Google here. I don't fucking know the population. But I'm telling you, it's probably not that far off. It's just people need to change the fucking mentality. And I'll wind it back in because them fucking Egypts wind me up. And I'm sorry, everyone. But anyway, Kyle, what did you make of Overmars? Because, he's another unsung hero.
For me, Overmars was always a very good player. And I always rated him. And he did exceptionally well at Arsenal. Now, if I was given a choice, then why? Robert Perez all day long for me. But in fairness to Overmars, brilliant player, the speed of him, the whole lot. But then why? Think about it. The defence that we had at that particular time was unbelievable. So Wenger came in at a great time with a defence like we had, and he put the jigsaw together then with the different pieces. So he went. Wenger knew the French league and the French players inside out more so than any other manager in the Premier League, including Alex Ferguson. And he was able to step in and he said to buy players like Vieira for $3.5 million. $3.5 million. You wouldn't fucking buy him in today's market.
No.
And he was able to get the likes of Petit and Elka for 500,000. So in fairness to Wenger, he not only took into Dutch, but he had a mixture of Dutch, French. He knew what he was doing that way. But Overmars was top class. There's no doubt about it. But if I was given a choice to pick the greatest Arsenal, Perez be on my wing all day long. But who will ever forget that goal in Old Trafford that way?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I remember, just I remember fucking giving it fucking large to United supporters the next day, or going into school, after that, going in, who wants it? Conor McGregor invented the walk-off Del Boy. I was going down the corridor like that. Who's fucking ready for me? Del Boy's in the fucking house. I'm bleeding. I tell you what, Overmars and Dennis Bergkamp are right behind me. You know what I mean? Fuck that. Just hit out a few comments here. Also, Ian Wright became Arsenal top goal scorer that in the same year. Yeah, exactly. Do you know what? I'd say fucking me, Kyle, or Warden could have been top goal scorer if you had Dennis Bergkamp beside you, feeding you fucking balls like that. Like, you know what I mean? What a bleeding. And Dennis, like, Ian Wright owes a lot to Dennis Bergkamp. And I suppose, in fairness to Wright, he does love Bergkamp and he always bigs him up. So fair play to him for that. For me, Bergkamp is the top Arsenal player. Exactly, Danny. Jez is in the house. Good man, Jez. How are you doing, pal? It was an honour to see him play at Highbury. Absolute class player. You know, I see, yeah. Do you know, I'll go into it now. I did see him live. You know what I mean? These eyeballs did see him, and I'm fucking delighted I did, you know. Over Mars, electrifying pace, another all-time favourite of mine. Exactly. Bergkamp is class, unique player, backed by titles of champions. Exactly. Right, Warren, do you want to go into the next one, mate?
Yep. So 3 second place finishes in the row. The next 3 seasons in 1998-99, 1999-2000, and 2000-2001, so Arsenal finished second behind Manchester United on each occasion and lost 2-1 to Liverpool in the 2001 FA Cup final. We saw Arsenal start a sequence of reaching 3 successive FA Cup finals, which they had last achieved between 1978 and 1980 under Terry Neal. Between the 1998, 99 and 2000-2001 season, Dennis made a total of 113 appearances, scoring 31 goals and getting 28 assists. The 1998-99 season saw Arsenal lose out to Manchester United in the FA Cup semi-final after Dennis missed a penalty and Ryan Giggs scored an amazing goal to win the game 2-1 for Manchester United.
Jesus Christ. Kyle,
that broke my fucking heart. That broke my heart, that boy. I was watching that. My brother's a United fan, and he's as passionate about United as I am about Arsenal. And we went up to my father's house to watch the game because my dad is a Liverpool fan, so he was like a referee. And he had an old wooden chair, and the brother was sitting in it, and I was sitting on the sofa, and my father was in the armchair. And when fucking Giggs scored that goal, the brother smashed the wooden chair off the ground in absolute smithereens, and I boxed the fucking head off him in the sitting room. Oh, there was murders. Then why? Neighbours and everything had to come in to pull us away, pull us apart. There was murders in the sitting room. Fucking Bergkamp broke my heart that night when he missed the penalty.
Yeah.
Fucking hey.
Yeah.
Them bastards went on and won the fucking treble because he missed the fucking penalty. And that Nelson fucking Vivas against Leeds United fucked us up for the league title as well that year. And they won the treble, and we never hear the fucking end of it till the day I die. Fucking scumbags.
Oh, stop! I was the same. I was watching it in my uncle's house in Dublin. I remember watching it, and it was a great game in fairness. But when Bergkamp was a penalty, I was just there. Yes. Of all the people you want to take this, it's Dennis Bergkamp. I was just there, fucking, he's going to smash this. And then that fucking Danish fucking goalie, my heart. I just knew then, that's it. It's done. We're not going to win this. I'll tell you, it'll go to penalties. They are going to fucking slaughter us now. You know, I was fucking gutted. How did you feel, Warren? And what's your memory of it?
I was gutted. I remember it being a fantastic game. And I have to say it. I think this game was either Vieira or Keane got sent off.
Oh yeah,
I remember it was one of. I think Vieira gave the ball away that led to Giggs' goal. Goal, but I think Roy Keane got sent off. And I remember when he got sent off, I was jumping up and down because I thought, that's it. That's their fucking best player gone. We're going to beat them. And then when we got that penalty and Dennis Bergkamp was stepping up to take the pen, I just thought, there's no way that he's not going to fucking score. It's in the bag.
Yeah.
And I had this mouthy little Man United fan in the pub with us. And he was going, yeah, United this, United that. And I was going, sit down, shut up. And then Bergkamp missed and fucking hell. It was awful. Because I knew that was it. It was done. Like when he missed that thing, like
it was like a fucking Rocky film where I was that white. I tell you what it is, there was absolute war.
Oh, I'll tell you, because I remember at the time even going into school, and fuck me, I had a balaclava on, I think. I was just hiding from all them fucking Man United bastards. Was fucking there. If they fucking see me, I says, I won't be in the fucking humour for them, and there'll be a bleeding fight after school. And I'm not in the humour of it. I'm not in the humour at all, Fuck's sake. But
the thing is, when they won that game, it was such a psychological lift for them and such a blow for us. I think if we'd won it, we would have fucking destroyed them. And we would have won the league and the cup that year, definitely.
Yeah. Well,
100%.
Yeah. And I suppose to even look at it, like, you know what I mean? It was such a that penalty, like it was such an important for Arsenal season and United season, because they wouldn't have won the Champions League, I don't think, if he scored that. Because that game, the effect that it had on Arsenal with the league and stuff like that, it fucked us big time not winning that game, because at the time they were such a rival to us. We hated them, they hated us, and for them to get one over on us and see them progressing in the league and going into the Champions League and stuff like that, it was fucking hard. It's hard to watch.
Then why? We could have been double winners, but instead of that, they were fucking treble winners.
Oh God, it hurts me. It fucking hurts. Like, was it a bad penalty or a good save?
Bad penalty.
What?
I don't think there was that much wrong with the penalty, but it's just that Schmeichel is probably one of the best keepers ever to play the game.
To be honest with you, I agree, Warren. Schmeichel is one of the best keepers, possibly even the greatest. But I thought it was a shit penalty. I thought Bergkamp shit on himself. He done a little side post. It was more of a fucking tap, to tell you the truth. Not good, wasn't it? That why? It wasn't up to my fucking standards, my friend, that night.
I'd say that's what the pressure was on. He's there, fuck's sake, this bastard in fucking Wexford and fucking kill me.
There you go. That's why you need that guy as manager of the Republic of Ireland football.
Yeah. Here, I'll tell you what, Kyle. You coach and I'll manage it. I'll be on the sideline with the Armani suit, giving it fucking loads.
No problem, then.
Yeah, I'll do the Arteta hair and all. But hold on. I'll just hit up a few chats here. Bergkamp is class, unique player, backed by titles. Yeah. Craig is saying Thierry Henry even said Dennis Bergkamp was the best player he has played with. I'm sure. Fuck Man United. Exactly. Fuck them. I also remember when Henry came in, he was struggling to score, same as Dennis did. He told him just play as normal game and goals come. Exactly. I remember that myself, 100%. I suffered the same course, Del. My son's a United supporter. Oh, Jesus, that's fucking hard. Yeah. No, my sons are Arsenal supporters. I fucking made sure of that. I'll tell you now. One got away. Me brother's son, my nephew, he got away. He was Arsenal. He had to kit it out and all on Arsenal when he was a kid, and then he went off and he heard about Man United. But I'll tell you one thing. He is hearing every fucking day of the week that Arsenal are top of the league by his favourite uncle. So if you're watching, Aaron, how are you? You could have been fucking live streaming tonight with Del Boy, couldn't you? Your favourite uncle talking about Dennis Bergkamp, but no, you decided to listen to your other uncle, you bleeding tick. Anyway, moving on. I thought that was a poor penalty from Bergkamp. There you go.
It was a poor penalty.
Yeah. I was watching the game in the pub. Arsenal and Liverpool fans were throwing glasses on TV when Giggs scored. Come here, I'd be the exact same when I go to my local pub, right? And the let's say if Arsenal play Man United fans on one side, Arsenal, Liverpool are on the other. It's good crack. I love it. And me pub has been closed down since the lockdown, but it's opening up in a few weeks' time. So Del Boy will be doing streams live in the pub, wrecking the place.
Yeah, Del Boy. There was no glasses thrown. There was not only fucking fist thrown where I was. Fucking bullshit.
Oh, I love it. That pen against the Manx gutted wrenching for weeks, that one. Yeah, it did. It fucking really did, you know. Comment of the night, I agree. Fuck Man United. Yeah, exactly. Right, Warren, I'm fucking depressed enough now looking at Schmeichel fucking save that. Can we move on? And sorry, before we do, please like, subscribe, check out Warren's Team Talks. He's doing a great show tomorrow at 2:30. Please check it out. And check out Kyle Walsh Gunner as well. Please do like and subscribe to the lad's channel. Go ahead.
And put a like on Del's video, please. Make sure that. The 2001-2002 season was a hugely successful one for Arsenal, as they won their second league and cup double under Arsene Wenger. And on the 2nd of March 2002, away at Newcastle United, Dennis scored one of the greatest goals he would score for Arsenal in a 2-0 win. Early in the match, Arsenal midfielder Robert Pires played a low pass from the left flank to Bergkamp on the edge of Newcastle's penalty area with his back to goal. Under pressure from marker Nikos Dabizas, Bergkamp controlled the ball with one flick and went round the other side before placing the ball precisely into the bottom right-hand corner to score.
Kyle, go ahead. Sorry, I was just looking at something. Sorry, Kyle. What's your memory of the goal?
I have a story about this goal, Del Boy. So here's what I'm going to say. I went to a local pub here in Enniscorthy. It used to be called Shenanigans. It's not that name anymore. It's no ownership. You might know a fella, Del Boy, who hangs out with your cousin down here in Wexford, Nordine Shigara. I don't know if you know him or not.
I think I
Big
do.
Arsenal fan as well. So we were all up in Shenanigans. I think Stephen was there as well. We were all there watching the game. I swear on my daughter's life, when that ball hit the back of the net, Del Boy, I never saw a goal like it in my life. I couldn't believe what I was after watching. I jumped up. There was about 17 drinks on the table. Well, lads, I smashed every fucking last one of them. I broke chairs, stools, you name it. I got barred out of the fucking pub that night anyway, Del Boy. Make a long story short, I wasn't allowed inside the pub if Arsenal was ever on television again. That's what I was told. So I had to stay out of it. But Del Boy, not only is it Dennis Bergkamp's greatest goal for Arsenal, for me, it's the greatest Premier League goal ever fucking scored. Full stop.
Whoa. Big statement from Kyle Walsh Gunner. Live and direct. There you go. Warren, what's your memory, and would you agree with Kyle Walsh? So what's your memory first?
Well, I remember watching it on the TV, and I remember when Dennis scored that goal, he come running up to the camera and he put his face into the camera and he said to the camera, "Kyle Walsh Gunner, is that goal for you? Is it your standards?"
I rang him after the game. He dedicated it to me.
No, but I just remember the way he spun the fella, and it was just an unbelievable goal. But I don't know. The thing is, he scored so many fucking brilliant goals for Arsenal. The ones for me that stand out are this one, the hat trick he got at Leicester, and that goal he scored up at Sunderland.
Yeah.
When all the players were celebrating and they were standing on the side of the pitch laughing with their hands over their mouths because of the ridiculousness of that goal that he scored. You know?
Yeah. 100%. Look, I remember.
Tell boy,
Sorry, go ahead.
I just want to say I had a dream. And my dream was always that I always wanted to go to Highbury and see Dennis Bergkamp scoring one goal, just one goal. And I was lucky enough to went to Highbury and I saw Dennis Bergkamp score one goal in one game and another goal in one of the very last games that he played in Highbury. It was fantastic. I remember standing on North Bank crying my eyes out.
Yeah, I remember seeing him live as well, and I was just glued to what he was doing, you know, his movement on and off the ball and stuff like that. And it was just like, as I played football, and we all did, I'm sure, but to see like stuff that he was doing, I was just there. Jeez, I wouldn't have fucking done that. Like, a go that way, I would have went the other way. And you know, who was right, Dennis or me? Clearly, Dennis. You know, but I remember watching this game. I was watching it live. I can't remember if it was a Saturday evening or Sunday evening or something like that. But I remember the sort of feeling was, it's only Newcastle. We're going to beat them. You know, it'll be run of the mill. And this is the way we were as Arsenal fans back then. Like, you know, we're fucking oozing class. We're fucking spanking everyone. Sit down with fools. You know what I mean? This is the way it was. And when I seen that goal, I was just sort of, I remember having a few points. Yeah, grand. We're sorted and watching the match. And next time there, all right. Well, what the fuck is going on here? And Jesus Christ, I remember just fucking, I think I spilled a fucking pint on my mate that was sitting beside me going, like, what? Like, am I fucking dreaming here? What's going on? He just, like, the control he done. And that wasn't just a one-off goal. You know what I mean? He used to be able to do these touches. He done it against Argentina and Holland. He done that. You know, that just takes the ball. It was like a fucking magnet onto him. Just stuck to him. You know, he's well able to do that. And that's why, as Arsenal fans, we were not that surprised that he was able to do that. Because he was fucking doing it every week. The ball just sucks into his foot. And he's just able to control it, to do whatever he wants with it. Makes football look so fucking easy. You know what I mean? Like, just even looking at that again, and look at the defender, and he's gone one way, and he doesn't even know where Bergkamp's gone. And I feel sorry for him, because it wasn't just because it was, let's say, Andy O'Brien there. That could have been John Terry. That could have been Rio Ferdinand. Bergkamp still would have done the exact same goal against any top-class defender. That's my opinion. Would you agree with that, Warren?
Yeah, 100%. Because he had it in his locker, and he was capable of doing that week in, week out. He just never knew what he was going to do, because he was just so talented. It was just ridiculous amounts of talent the fella had. You know, and then, you know, when you think about some of the players as well that he's played with at international level, like Van Basten, or Ajax, that incidentally thinks the greatest number 9 that's ever played the game. I just think he's fucking... I've seen him. I saw him. I went to the Holland-England game in Euro 88, and I was standing there in the ground, and I just couldn't believe what he did to Tony Adams. He destroyed the fella, and it took Adams nearly a year to get over it. It absolutely destroyed him. He turned him inside out, and he scored a hat-trick in England that day. You know, and, you know, Dennis played with him, and he played with Hullet, and he played with all these fucking top players. And the point I'm trying to make is that you could put him in any team in the world of, like, you could put him in a world 11 and he wouldn't look out of place. Do you know what I mean? You could have him in a team with, like, Maradona and Pele and fucking all these players and whatnot, and he would not look out of place. You wouldn't be standing there saying, who's that fucking blonde-haired fella with the number 10 on his back? Yeah. What's he doing playing with all these greats? You wouldn't, because he's that good.
Yeah, Warren, you're spot on. You're after hitting the nail on the head. And I had this discussion a few times. You talk about great Dutch players, Cruyff, Van Basten, Ruud Gullit, Frank Rijkaard. The list goes on and on. All great players. For me, Dennis Bergkamp is the greatest Dutch player that has ever lived.
Jesus, fuck me, Kyle. You're bleeding here. I need to fucking start writing down all these bullet points. You're coming out with haymakers here. You're hitting.
I'm coming out with haymakers because I believe it 100% that way. I don't think. And Ruud Gullit was one of my all-time favorite players, and I remember in 1988 he was a genius. But I just think that Bergkamp plays the game just in a different way than any other Dutch great players have. That's not to say they're bad players that way. They're all geniuses. But to me, Bergkamp is just that little bit better.
Yeah, like for me, like the Dutch football is like, you know, you're splitting hairs between them, if you know what I mean. I think Cruyff, Van Basten, right up there. Bergkamp, right up there. But I probably think the two of them are just a small bit better. Like, you know what I mean? But if I was picking a team, I'd probably be whoever's closest to me. Here, throw that jersey on you there. Do you know what I mean? That's the way it is. Like, I do agree with you. Like, I'm not saying Bergkamp wasn't up there at the best, but he is sitting at the fucking table with them. 100%.
But I'm going to say this to you, that boy. I don't think any of them players would score what Dennis Bergkamp scored there in that picture. And that includes the great Van Basten.
Yeah, no, I do agree with you. Yeah, 100%.
The trail of thought, the thought there, the thought process that went into that, the way he controlled it, he was like a ballet dancer. The way he controlled it, he knew exactly what he was going to do with that ball. Yeah. To me, no footballer in the world would have done what he done that day.
Yeah, it'll be hard to sort of even do it nowadays because, like, even if you're looking, let's say, just look to your bottom right hand, that picture there where he's twisted his body the whole way. Like, he could have went where his body was facing and into that corner, but he twisted his whole body and put it into the opposite corner. Like, there's no way you'd see not many players doing that. Like, your whole body had to change. And you think about, he's moving there. He's not standing still. He's moving. So the easiest option to do was just go into the left-hand corner there. But he twisted his whole body around going right.
I'll put this question to the two of you. Name me a player in the world, in all your lives of watching football, that has done something like that. Even come close to that. Because I don't remember a player doing this.
Yeah. Maradona. That goal that he scored against England was fucking insane. And then 3 days later, he did it to Belgium. He beat 5 players. And the goal against Belgium, I think, in fact, was better than the one against England.
Was he on his knees?
Mate, I'm sorry, Carl. That guy is head and shoulders above any other player that's ever lived, in my opinion. Right? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not. But in my opinion, he is just on a different level. I mean, he took a team, say Nottingham Forest. It's like him signing for Nottingham Forest today and taking them to 2 successive league titles. It's just ridiculous. It is insane. And that Italian league, when he signed for them, their defences were ridiculous. Like, you would see maybe 1-2 goals maximum every game. Like, games would finish 1-0 or 1-1, and that was it. It was almost never, ever 2-0, 2-1, 3-1, never happened. It was always 1-0, 1-1, something like that. And he went in there and he destroyed that league. I mean, it's just, honestly, that man, it's insane. It is. And then the thing I love about him is the fact when he signed for Napoli, right, he heard about some kid who was dying of some terminal illness, and they were having a charity match for him in the street where the kid lived. And they asked him to play, and the club were going, "No, you can't do it. You can't do it." And he's going, "Fuck it, I'm doing it. I don't care if you like it or not. I'm going to do it." And for me, that me's class. Absolute class. So forget all the drug
Yeah.
abuse and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
That is class, and it says a lot about the fella.
Well, I don't know if you saw the film clip. Warren, by the way, I want to say to you, I agree with you. To me, when you talk about the greatest players to ever play the game, Diego Maradona is up there. And he's definitely in the top two, him and Pele. But he took an average Argentina team and he won the World Cup with them. And the other thing is, there's a film you should try to get your hands on it called The Hand of God. And it's basically about 5 English lads living in council estates and bad education and stuff like that. And their dream is to meet Maradona, but they're freestylists with footballs. So what to do is do exhibitions, doing skills with balls and get money off the public. And they save up and they go on this mad journey from their council estates in England to Argentina to meet their idol.
Jeez.
And I have to say, out of the 5 of them, only 3 makes it. But I have to say, lads, Maradona gave him all his time. He was not but a gentleman to him. It's a great film. You should watch it. The Hand of God, it's called. Brilliant.
Come here. I think we should do something like that. We'll try and go and meet our hero, Stephen Kenny, the Ireland manager. Jesus Christ. Come here, look, we'll go to the next slide there.
So, Dennis scores his 100th goal for Arsenal. On the 4th of January 2003, Dennis Bergkamp achieved a notable milestone when he scored his 100th goal for Arsenal against Oxford United in the FA Cup third round. That season, Arsenal would go on to win their second consecutive FA Cup by beating Southampton 1-0 in the final at the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. That season, Arsenal finished second in the Premier League. Oh, God, I can't... Delphine, can you take that chat off? I can't...
Sorry.
You're right. That season, Arsenal finished second in the Premier League to champions Manchester United by 5 points, and Dennis scored 7 goals, created 11 assists from 41 appearances.
Wow. Like, the only thing that sort of puts me off about this picture is our new sporting director is there.
No, and this was before I knew.
Yeah.
I did this a few days ago, so that was before that got out.
But yeah, Kyle, do you think it took him a while to get to his 100th goal? Should he have done quicker?
No, I think it took him a while, Del Boy, but I wouldn't particularly think that he should have done it quicker. He wasn't what you call a natural goal scorer. Like, I always, when I talk about the boys, right? When I say the boys, when I talk about the great players at Arsenal, Bergkamp is my favourite player ever to play for Arsenal. I think he's the best footballer we ever had. That's just my opinion. But he's not the greatest goal scorer. Do you know what I mean? Like Henry, Ian Rice, Cliff Baston. I think they were all better goal scorers than Bergkamp. But Bergkamp's game, it wasn't an out-and-out goal scorer. He was more of a playmaker. Bringing in, the skill, the vision, the ballet dancer, as I used to call him. Just a genius of a footballer, Del Boy. So no, I think he did great to get to 100 goals, actually.
Yeah, 100%. Like, what do you think, Warren? Like, was there a sort of it took him a bit long to get there, and does that sort of matter to you, the way he was as a player?
No, because the thing is, he was such an important part of that team, right? Because Wenger had a profile of player that he wanted, right, in the team, and they all had to be pacey. They all had to be 6 foot plus, and he was 6 foot plus, but he wasn't particularly blessed with the greatest pace, but Arsenal made an exception for him because he was just so bloody good at what he did. And to me, he's similar, I guess, in some ways, you'd say, to Michel Platini. in the way that he would create opportunities for other players. I mean, yeah, Platini scored a few goals, but so did Dennis. But he was he was the major creative force in that Arsenal team. And, and let's not forget, we finished second 3 years on the bounce to United, right? And us and them were the best two sides in the league by a country mile. And it just by a twist of fate, it could have been us that won those 3 successive titles. So we could have ended up winning 5 titles on the bounce just by a very thin margin. So, we had a system of playing, and I think he was a really important cog in that. And I don't think it was necessarily important for him to score more goals, because he scored a fair few. And if you look through the statistics for that season, I doubt there were many other number 10s who scored as many goals as what he did.
Yeah, no, I have to agree with you. Like, it wasn't about really, like, the goals for Bergkamp, but it was the play that he done as well. And in the 98 season, like with Ian Wright was top goal scorer, Ian Wright would never have been top goal scorer without Dennis Bergkamp. No way. Hey, do you want to go to the next slide?
Dennis becomes invincible. The 2003-04 season saw Arsenal remain unbeaten for the entire league season, a feat only previously achieved by Preston and Liverpool in the 19th century. The season ended on a high point for Dennis when Arsenal won the league title for remaining unbeaten for the entire league season. Dennis set up the winner against Leicester in the final game of the season with a pass to captain Patrick Vieira. Vieira rounded the goalkeeper and scored to give Arsenal a 2-1 win. So you go. Carl, anything you want to say about that, mate?
Absolute brilliant. What a season. To go like that, 49 games like that, Warren, I don't think we'll ever see it again, We've had this great Man City, and we had the great Liverpool team, and none of them will ever come close to what we achieved. And what really pisses me off is when you have these other fucking pricks, rival fans, and they're saying about the invincible season, oh, you had 12 draws. Fuck off.
Yeah, but how many
we are invincible. We weren't beaten. That's it. End the fucking story. And Dennis Bergkamp was a huge part of that. And just brings back lots of memories to me, Warren. And to be quite honest with you, mate, I haven't seen anything from Arsenal since then until this season so far, which is an absolute disgrace.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the same as you. Like, when you hear, Arsenal drew this many games. So fucking what? You know what I mean? It's we weren't always winning them games, or like, you had to come from behind and, stuff like that, and the pressure of it. And especially for a team, when it sort of started to get serious for me, right, we could actually do this invincible. It was sort of mid to late April, I think it was. Like, I was still thinking, I'm not worried about the invincible season. I just want to win the league. I don't care about being invincible or whatever. But that's what it was for me, And then the last few games, it was like, wow, shit, we're nearly there now. We're nearly there. And then, like, the last game of the season then was like, geez, my nerves are fucking gone. I thought we were going to blow it on the last day of the season. What did you think, Warren?
Well, I remember Arsene Wenger saying the season before that he thought the team could go unbeaten for a whole season, and it pissed a lot of sides off because they thought he was being arrogant. But it's what he honestly thought, and it turned out to be true. They did go unbeaten, but a lot of people didn't like it, and it irked a lot of people. And Darren's 100% right. in that comment he just put, but we losing it. Do you know? So that's what matters. It's the big fat zero at the end, you know?
It's
So-
yours gold. It's yours gold.
Yeah. But the thing is, I don't think people realise how difficult it is to go unbeaten for a whole season. Do you know what I mean? It's
Warren, we will never see it again, my friend. I don't care. You can have 10 Man Cities. We'll never see it again.
Because, like, what I'm saying is, it's the last. Let's say now, if Man City are coming up and they're such a good team. They won every game. Never mind drawn and all Arsenal. Oh, but you drew this many games. So fucking what? But it comes down to, we'll say, the last 10 games, 8 games, something like that, and they're undefeated. Okay, it's them 8 games that now count. That the pressure that the media are talking about, social media are talking about it. Fucking me Auntie Mary on TikTok's doing a fucking video about it. You know what I mean? The pressure's on you. You know what I mean? Fuck off. And as Kyle says, it will be a long time before I see it anyway. You know, if I do see it. And that's with social media today, because back then it wasn't as big, you know. So go ahead, Kyle.
I remember as well Thierry Henry saying that there was a motivation issue as well, because last 5 games of the season they'd already won the title, and you're sitting there and you're thinking, well, we've won the title already. Well, you know what's going on? And the Arsenal was going, look, you've got a chance to make history. Go out there and do it. You know, and he said some of them, you know, it was difficult. It was a struggle, you know, because, you know, it wasn't something tangible that they could go for, you know. So, you know, it was difficult, and fair play to them. But I just don't think people really know how difficult it is. I think they just write it off and they think, oh yeah, well, it doesn't matter. I mean, personally, I think George Graham's 91 team would have beaten that Invincible team.
I was just going to say, I was just going to say, what did you make of that? Like, you know, and anyone else in the comments as well, like, you know.
Because we were 1 game away from doing it that season.
Yep.
When we lost that game at Chelsea. It was the only game we lost all season. Because we could have done it twice, you know.
It'd be some game.
And I think that 91 team was better than this one.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you.
I do think it was better, because I think it was more tactically astute. I do, and I think that team would have won the Champions League if the English sides weren't banned out of Europe.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate look from Arsenal. It's always this like, you know, the stuff like that. And as you told me, Warren, we could have, like, you know, got Maradona at the time, but the FA were just being wankers. You know, that's what it boils down to. Unluck. Will you just go to the next one?
So, Captain Dennis, on the 22nd of August 2004, Dennis was named as captain when normal captain Patrick Vieira was injured. The home game against Middlesbrough, Arsenal came back from 3-1 down to win 5-3 and equal Nottingham Forest's record for 42 league matches undefeated. Arsenal finished second in 2004-5 season, 12 points behind Chelsea. In this season, Dennis made 38 appearances, scored 8 goals and made 13 assists. And God bless the young fella stood behind Dennis as well.
Yeah, I loved Reyes. Loved him, an absolute legend. You know, yeah, you know, and even that jersey, I suppose, does remind. I had that jersey, and it reminds me of Bergkamp. That jersey does. Just before we go into that, I just want to read out a few of these comments. Sorry, first of all, Mr. B is in the house. Thanks a million, Mr. B. Pray 49 undefeated, exactly. I don't think we will see it again, because that team was full of blood, sweat, and tears merchants, unlike the money men players of today that Ronaldo describes. Exactly, 100%. And Nketiah can only dream of being like him when he wakes up and still shit. My God. He wouldn't even been fucking water boy in that fucking team. Never mind fucking playing it. Let me see. Paul, closest to not being invincible, a missed last chance Mang penalty. He's talking about the 91 season, I think. Arsenal 91 team almost did the invincible. Yeah, exactly, yeah. He's used gold. Arsenal 91 had more leaders. Yeah, I'll come back to Warren on that, actually. I don't know, Warren. I think the Unbeatables were more deadly and fitter than the 91 team. That's a fair point. Fair point. Reyes was a really nice player, man. Yeah, exactly. He was such a gentleman as well. Exactly. R.I.P. Love Reyes as well, Dale. Very underrated. I remember being on a bus and I was working. I was on my way to work and reading about that we signed Reyes, and I was reading everything about him. And he was such a nice guy, and such a sad story about him. How are you guys doing? Good man, Ravi. Thanks a million for joining in. Warren, go ahead, Jeff.
Just want to say something there, boy. I was lucky enough to see Reyes playing for Arsenal twice in Highbury. And the thing that struck me with him, his work rate was exceptional. And he was brilliant on the ball, but his work rate off the ball was brilliant. He never stopped running, never stopped tracking back, pushed forward. It was a pleasure to see him playing football. He was brilliant. He really worked hard, and that's what I liked most about him.
Like for, let's say, the younger generation that's now looking at this, probably, I'd sort of, he was a Jesus type of player. He does work, but he scores goals as well. Would you agree with that, Warren?
What about Reyes?
Yeah,
but I think he was better than Jesus.
Yeah. And you think about, he wasn't the starter because you had Bergkamp and you had Henry ahead of him. You know what I mean? Any other team, he walks into it.
See, the thing about him as well was that he was so good. Teams were terrified of him. Like that game, that infamous game at Old Trafford where they kicked us off the park and should have had 3, possibly 4 players sent off and didn't because the referee bottled it. They kicked him up and down the field. And after that game, he was never the same again. I don't believe, because before that game, we'd go to places and he'd be ripping teams apart. But like you say, he wasn't a regular starter because he was trying to get in the team ahead of Dennis, ahead of Henry. Do you know what I mean? What a player to bring off the bloody bench.
Oh, it's insane. Exactly. Like you look at it now, like the fear that players had. So let's say now Dennis had an off game or Henry had an off game. Rarely, but let's say if they did, next thing you're fucking bringing on Reyes. You're just like, as a centre half, you're probably just going, for fuck's sake. I had, let's say, Bergkamp in my pocket, but now fucking Reyes is coming on and he's going to run this way, and fuck that.
I know if we have Jesus on it off there, which is very much so because he can't score a goal. Who do we fucking bring on? AD fucking Nketiah. That's how bad it's gone, that boy. Fucking joke.
Yeah, look, I'll read out comments here because that fucking clown bleeding drives me mad. Kanu was class. I loved Kanu. I fucking loved him. I loved his attitude, his laid-back approach, but Jesus, could he score a goal. And I'll tell you, that goal against Chelsea, Warren, do you want to talk about that before I move to the next question?
Yeah, that goal against Chelsea. Oh, God. It was ridiculous. It was another one like that Bergkamp goal. He got the ball and then he sort of took it around the Chelsea keeper and he was almost on the byline and he just there were like 2 or 3 Chelsea defenders on the goal line and he just curled it into the goal. It was absolutely insane. And you listen to the commentary, right, of that goal, and the guys, the commentators going, "Oh my God, look at that! That is ridiculous."
That boy.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things I'd like to say about that goal that Warren is talking about. They have the audacity to do that in the first place.
Yep.
But not only that, Del Boy, but if you remember, it was after lashing rain. The pitch was fucking soaked. And he was still able to do it on a wet surface. And the other thing is the commentary. I remember the commentary, Warren. The man said, commentator says, "Can you believe it?"
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Can you believe it? And the reason why I remember it so well was because it was my birthday. And I watched the game at a pub down in Waterford City. And I couldn't believe what I was after watching.
Jesus, yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, can you believe it? Because it's the same comment for the Tony Adams goal when against Everton, when they won the league in '98. It was like, the last goal, and who better to score the goal than big Tony Adams? Just go through a few. Reyes goal against Chelsea at Highbury. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, class goal.
That was on his debut as well. That was.
What was it? Yeah, Dave. Yeah, I remember it was early into his career at Arsenal.
Yeah, his first game, that boy.
Jesus. There you
go. He
scored
twice actually that day.
And I remember at the time he signed for something like 10 million. That would have been like 100 million today. You know what I mean? It was big money back then. Like, you know what I mean? I was just there, I hope this guy is as good as, we're after paying for him. And I remember early on in his career at Arsenal, he scored, and then it was probably the Chelsea goal that sticks to me mind there. Before he signed for us, remember Beck saying he ran the game when playing for Sevilla versus Real Madrid. He was fucking class in Spain. Like that, obviously that's why Wenger signed him and paid that a lot of money for him. When you look at a lot of the invincible goals, he lays a lot of them on for the strikers. Exactly. Kanu hat-trick at Stamford Bridge. Can you believe it? Exactly. Jamino's in the gaff. What's the bleeding story? Big up Del Boy. How's it going, man? I'm grand. I still have a hangover from me watch along last night, and I wasn't even fucking drinking. I was drinking tea and fucking red lemonade or something like that. But the hangover is from fucking this bleeding manager we have, for fuck's sake. I'm not even going to go into it. Just saying hello to the lads there. Reyes was probably one of the quickest guys in the league during his time in the Premier League. That's a great point, and he fucking was, because not only did Wenger change the Premiership at the time with the food and the no drinking and stuff like that, but then Reyes to come in and absolutely fucking annihilate the defence with the speed of him was fucking outstanding. The club did everything to keep Joe's shame. He left. Yeah, shame he left. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I just think he wanted to play football. And I remember at the time he leaving, you couldn't really blame him. But he was still Bergkamp, Henry. You can't pick him above them. You know what I mean? Unfortunately for him. Can you believe it? An all-time classic. Saw him slot one in at home to Spurs in a 1-0 win at home at half-time. The club put the Jose Antonio music to the Dal Mio ad. All right. Can you and the panel think of any comparisons from the players then and now? Saliba measures up to in defence back then. Martinelli also measures up to maybe Overmars. Yeah, I'd go Overmars. Kyle, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I'll jump in there. I'll just say there to Mr. B there. Martinelli is a top player, brilliant player. I love the chap. I hope he has a great future at Arsenal Football Club, but he's no Mark Overmars. And I also like to say Saliba, measuring up the defenders back then, Saliba is probably the best back I've seen at Arsenal for many, many years now. And I'm delighted that he's there and he's doing well, the chap is. And fair play to him. I hope he has a great future then. But he ain't no Martin Keown. He ain't no Tony Adams. He ain't no Steve Bold. That's just my opinion. I'd rather have them boys ahead of Saliba all day long, every day.
Warren?
Yeah, I'd have to go along with Carl. I think Martinelli's a great player and he's a great prospect, but he's not there yet. Potentially world class, but he's not in the same class as Mark Overmars. Saliba, He's good centre back, excellent centre back, but he's not in the class of some of the great centre backs we had in the past, like David O'Leary, Frank McClintock, Martin Keown. These guys. He's and Steve Bold. He's just not. He's not there yet, but he could be. He could be if we've got decent coaches at the club. But that's another issue, and I'm not going to go for a rant about that because there's an issue there.
I'm going to go with Paul here. Fucking negativity underneath me here. Fucking hell, bastards. Get off the show, you little fucking bastards. I'm only messing. No. And better times are getting better and better. Gunners together. Come on, the Arsenal. I'm fucking delighted. We're doing well. No, look, Saliba and Martinelli, top class. But I just think personally myself, a different game. I think probably Keown would get sent off every game if he was in nowadays. You know what I mean? That's you know what I mean. So Saliba's probably handling today's football better than Keown is, if you know what I mean. Overmars, I'd still like to give Martinelli another season or two to sort of try to get up there. I loved Overmars, like, you know.
Dale, I just said this to you. Alan Shearer, the great Alan Shearer, was asked the question one time: who was the hardest defender you ever played against? And Alan Shearer said, Martin Keown all day long.
There you go.
That's all you need to know there, Dale. That's all you need to know.
See, the thing about it is... Sorry, go ahead, Warren.
No, I was just going to say, it's a good job they didn't ask him who the hardest midfielder was that he come up against, because I know what he'd say then.
Yeah.
Certain Irish from Cork.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He probably wouldn't have fucking said that, the bollocks. But, yeah, look, you know, to me, Alan Shearer is just a fucking bollocks. I don't like the chap. I think he's a fucking knob. Anyway, Saliba reminds me of the great David O'Leary. Yes, yeah. Different era and stuff like that. But, look, he's still young. Let's give him time. David O'Leary was an absolute gentleman. He's an Irish legend to me, to Kyle, I'm sure, as well. Scoring the penalty in Romania. But, yeah, let's move on. Sorry, John Mortis had lost his voice on Match of the Day when Reyes goal. I must actually try to Google that. Remind me at the end, actually. I'll check it out later on. I was at the Villa game in April 2006 at Highbury, scored into the top corner in the clock end. Do you know what? I think I was at that game. I fucking do, because I was at a game in Highbury and I was in the North Bank, and Darius Vassell, he was playing for Aston Villa and he came on as a substitute. He was only young. I must check that what game that was or what year it was. I thought it was like 2004 season. That's what I'm thinking of. But it was definitely Aston Villa. It was Arsenal Aston Villa game. It was in Highbury. I think it was one of my first times in Highbury. I was still only young, 18, 19 or something like that. But yeah, that sort of rings a bell. I'm actually going to check that out just to see when it was for myself. Agreed, the new crop are all short of Adams, Overmars and Co. We must not forget Andres Lampard. He was like, he was a whipping. Arsenal World, do you reckon Sanchez would have improved the Invincibles replacing Freddie? Exactly, I think so. Why, Kyle? Would you agree?
For me, no.
Oh, fucking hell. Will you get out of your old fucking hat here and fucking get into the new era? No.
Hey. Freddie Ljungberg, look back on it. Freddie Ljungberg was very, very important key player in that squad of players. And he always came on and he always done the job. That little fucking Sanchez, I finished with that little prick. When he fucking coming to the end of his days to play, we were playing against Liverpool. And that little bollocks was taken off because he's done fuck all. And he sat down, he put his little coat on to keep him fucking warm. And Liverpool Football Club were beating us 4-5-0. They were fucking trashing us. And the camera focused in on that little prick. And all he was doing was fucking smiling. I did a fucking video about that fucking 6, 7, 8 years ago, whatever it was now. And I just remember looking at the screen and I said, you know what, Sanchez? Go fuck yourself. You ain't no fucking Arsenal legend to me. And you're sitting there fucking laughing and we're getting a fucking football lesson. I haven't time for that. Last night, Dave, I saw that fucking uppy-feeny fella, whatever the fuck you call him, for Ireland. And he walking around the pitch like a Terminator. And he did fuck all. And at the end of the game, what was he doing? Laughing. And the country after getting beaten by Norway. I have no fucking tolerance for that shit. I don't care if you're another 10 player, another 15 player, a youth player, or a senior player. Go fuck yourself. You're never going to play for me again. That's how passionate I am about that boy. Sanchez, I'm finishing that prick that day. Don't get me wrong, quality player, but I don't want that attitude around my fucking dressing room. So therefore, Freddie Ljungberg all day long.
Warren, I'm not even going to ask you the question because Kyle has won the debate. It's over. It's done. It's set in fucking concrete. So please, we can.
The thing about Sanchez, you got to remember, is that his standards are up here. Just like Carl Walsh.
Don't wind them off. Jesus Christ. He'll fucking come up and kill me.
He's probably sitting on the bench and saying, Arson, listen, this ain't good enough. My standards ain't up here. Players out there, they're just not bloody good enough.
Exactly, yeah. Well, here, look, like for me, Freddie was fucking. I loved Freddie. Geez, just thinking of it now. I got me hair. You know the red fucking dyes down me hair for Freddie, right? And not only that. Me dog, I had a little terrier. I got his fucking hair as well, and he had the red fucking. He had black hair, and he had the red Freddie stripe as well. That's how mad I was about Freddie Ljungberg. I love.
Oh my days!
Yeah, and come here. It doesn't stop there. It's Del Boy Gunner TV you're on. It doesn't fucking stop there. I have the Panther. Remember him at the Calvin Klein ad, and he was there like that in the fucking Calvin.
Yeah.
And he had the Panther down there. Guess who was the Panther down there? Yes, you heard it here first. Del Boy is the Panther at all. Oh, absolute quality. We'll move on before we're fucking copyrighted.
You see my mate Pat, Del Boy?
Yeah.
Right? He went to an Ireland game and he decided to put a green streak through his hair for Ireland. Right? The problem was the dye he put was permanent fucking green. And he couldn't get it out. And he had these like weeks and weeks. He had like a green stripe going across his forehead. You believe that? Bloody he managed to get it out of his hair, but there was this green streak on his scalp. It was mad.
Yeah. Big up, Melina. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Please check Melina's channel out. Excuse me. Do you want to go to the next screen there, Warren?
Right. So
I was at this game.
Oh.
I was at this game.
15th of April 2006. Carl Walsh was there. DB10. After much campaigning from Arsenal supporters, and the club designated the match against West Bromwich Albion on the 15th of April 2006 as Bergkamp Day. The day celebrated the players' contribution at Arsenal, and fans were given commemorative orange DB10 T-shirts, the colour of his national team, his initials, and his squad number. Dennis himself came on as a second-half substitute and set up the winning Robert Pires goal moments after Nigel Quasi had levelled the scores. Fittingly, Dennis's 89th minute goal proved to be his last for Arsenal in a competitive football match. What do you remember about the game, Carl?
Yeah, I went to that game and we were given. I remember getting the T-shirt small before the game. I was in the North Bank, and I remember I was disappointed. I remember being disappointed because Bergkamp was a sub, and Robert Pires was a sub as well that day. And we were getting beaten, and in the second half, the ball on Pires and Bergkamp. And so obviously then Pires scored the goal, and then I remember Dennis getting the ball. And one of his spectaculars from outside the box, and he bent it into the top corner. And I could see it right in fucking front of me. looking down the field. I could see the ball the way it banked and all, and the keeper diving, and he couldn't get to it. And again, I just can't put into words the feeling that just takes over. You're screaming, you know yourself, Warren, you're screaming, you're shouting, you're jumping for joy. So yeah, that day I saw two of my heroes, Perez and Bergkamp, scoring goals. That I'll never forget that day, Bergkamp day. It was brilliant. It was just fucking brilliant. And his wife and his children were there as well, and it was just great. And the fans singing his name around the stadium. Different worlds,
And
just a different generation, different player. You won't see players like that again. Absolutely brilliant house.
what did you do with your T-shirt?
I think I have it somewhere, there, boy.
Jeez, yeah, it'd be great to find that.
I'll check it out. I think I have it somewhere downstairs.
Get Paul McGrath to sign it.
Oh yeah, my old hero, my old mate.
Yeah.
But exceptional. It was an exceptional day, and I'm delighted that I was there to witness his last goal that he ever scored for Arsenal in a competitive game.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ, Warren, what do you have to? Do you have any memories of that game?
Not particularly, no. I remember scoring the goal, but that's about it, really.
Were you at the game, Warren?
No, I wasn't. I struggled to get tickets around this time because it was just so high. Highbury in them days only held 38,000.
Yeah.
So, there was a lot of season ticket holders and the tickets were really expensive. And at the time I didn't have a lot of money and it was almost impossible unless you were a season ticket holder to get your hands on a ticket. Because every game sold out.
I have a question for you there, Warren, as well. I remember going to Highbury. I think I was in the East Stand, and we played Liverpool. And it was the game that Jamie Carragher threw the coin at the fans, and he was sent off. And Martin Keown was sent off for pulling back Michael Owen. And something is telling me Bergkamp scored a header. But something is telling me that Bergkamp got sent off that day as well. Can you remember, or am I right or am I wrong?
No, I think he had a go at Carragher.
Yes, down in the corner flag.
Yeah, I think him and Carragher had a bit of a disagreement.
Yeah.
And I think it turned a bit physical. And see, the thing is, what people don't recognise about Bergkamp was he wasn't a shrinking violet. He wasn't adverse to dishing it out if he had to.
Yeah.
I remember a Champions League game when we played, I think it was some side from Norway or something, and he got a bit physical with one of their defenders, and by doing that, he managed to get himself into goal scoring position and scored a goal. But yeah, he had a nasty side to him as well.
He did, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, just reading out one or two of these. Imagine being a defender versus Bergkamp, Henry, Perez, and Lumber. Oh, for fuck's sake! And then you're thinking, let's say one of them has a bad game, and then Reyes comes on. Oh, fuck's sake! You'd be just sickening, wouldn't you? Like, you're thinking, I'm after doing my job. Let's say against, I don't know, Perez today. Yeah, he's in my pocket, and then the next thing Reyes comes on, you're just there. Here, I'll throw the towel in.
And then at the time, the next week you go and play Man United, and you're up against Ronaldo and Rooney and fucking that Argentinian guy they had as well. Jesus Christ.
Craig and Arsenal swapped him for the shitty Mickey. Yeah, they're talking about Sanchez. I was there, the orange T-shirt. He was there. Darren was there.
Myself and Darren were there.
That's what I was going to say. I think I seen you. See where Bergkamp's head is, just to the left of that. I think that's you there, Kyle. Full head of hair on you. Hey Mel, glad you're on the mend. Yeah, exactly. And big up, Mel. I hope you're okay. Great. Mel's channel, check her out. She was only at the Arsenal game there. I think it was a Southampton game, if I'm not mistaken. Hope you're getting better, mate. I was at the Cardiff for the 2001, 2002, 2003 final. Couldn't get tickets for all three finals. I watched them in the same pub for all final. with Arsenal fans, amazing memories. See, this is what it's all about. And, like, you know, sort of stuff like this, like what Warren has done, like, you know, with the pictures and the sort of, you know, the memories that you're bringing up. I forget about all these until I see a picture or I see comments and I just go, fuck yeah. Like, you know, I remember that now, and have to say big up to Warren for this. You're fair play to you. And
Well, I'd
please
just
do.
like to say there, I was lucky enough there, boy, because I got the Cardiff and I got the 2006 Carling Cup final against Chelsea. We got beat
Chelsea.
2-1.
Yeah.
And I actually had dinner with Charlie George and Sammy Nelson before the game. I went down onto the sideline and met the players. Not. It was a brilliant day. I won a draw there, boy. I was lucky. I was very lucky to win a VIP ticket. I was very, very lucky. But we got beat fucking Drogba, the usual shit. It was the game where John Terry swallowed his tongue.
That's right. I remember that.
Theo Walcott put us 1-0 up.
Yeah. I remember. I'll never forget that game. Remember, I thought we were going to do it, and we had the kids out as well for that game. In 2014, Wenger refused to re-sign Fabregas. Do you think he made a mistake? We went on to promote players like Coquelin. Warren?
Yeah, I do. He went in time for Chelsea and they won the league.
Yep.
No, and I think I remember that season we were struggling in midfield for a creative talent. So, yeah, I think it was a big mistake. You know, we had Mesut Ozil, who didn't. For me, I just don't think he ever wanted to play for Arsenal. I think he was told by Real Madrid, you either go to Arsenal or we're going to sack you. So you're not got a future at this club. So he just came to get a pay packet. I don't think he was ever interested in playing for Arsenal, and I think we should have got Fabregas. He wanted to come. And he went to Chelsea and he helped them win the league. I just think he's crazy. I just don't understand it.
For me, it was when Fabregas left, his very first game for Barcelona, I was at it. It was against AC Milan. The very first competitive game was in the Champions League, I think it was. And I remember him coming on and I was just surrounded by Barcelona supporters and I'm just like, I was sick, you know what I mean? I was good. And then when when he went to Chelsea that time, I was just like, why the fuck did we not get him? Like, I can't understand it, you know? And like you says, with Ozil, I think, he was told, look, you're done. We're finished with you at Madrid. And I just think he's a bollocks as well. And, you know, the two of them just don't go too well when you want to sign for a team.
Thing is, Ancelotti called him a bitch, didn't he?
Yeah.
He said he was a bitch, and you know, and you get a manager like Ancelotti saying you're no good, then he says it all, doesn't it?
Exactly, yeah. You're not going to disagree with the Don, you know what I mean? And just go through one of these before we skip on. Wenger went on too long, should have left when they won the FA Cup again. I agree 110% with that. For me, definitely. Miss Melina, hello. First message to you. Hope you're well. Exactly. That was a wonder goal slotted from outside the box. I think he did get a red, Kyle. Both may have walked.
Yeah, I think so too, Darren.
Yeah. You never saw Bergie roll on the floor. Exactly. And this is the thing, like, you know what I mean? 100%. Jez Collins did a stream last night on who was the best Arsenal manager. Bertie, me, Herbert Chapman, George Graham, Arsene Wenger. Who was yours? Mine would have, I like from, let's say, what Jez would, I'd listen to his shows, obviously, and what Jez would tell you. And being in the Arsenal Museum, every time I go to the Emirates, I always go in. Even if I don't buy, you need the red band and stuff like that. I just walk in, just walk by them. You know what I mean? They don't give a fuck about the Arsenal History Museum. So I always go in every time I'm over and reading about Herbert Chapman. He changed football. Never mind Arsenal. That's my point of view, my sort of take on it. So yeah, there you are. In an FA Cup game versus Port Vale at home, saw a defender knee him square in the back. He just got up and got on with it. You would not get that nowadays, 100%. Darren, I was there when he played Port Vale. We went through on penalties. Yep. Mel, you light up the chat with your beauty, class, and smile. Jesus, Mr. B, I thought that was fucking me that done it to you, for fuck's sake. Arsenal World, I'm fuming with Wenger for not re-signing Cesc. Oh, it killed me. It really did kill me. 2007, that's when it was. Yeah, exactly, Kyle. You were on about that. Diaby, KO, John Terry in the jaw. He was another player that should have got another few games and didn't. Like, you know, due to injuries, and I thought he would have been an absolute fucking baller. Wenger should have played Cesc and Ozil, or just Cesc. Yeah, like, you know, maybe they would have got a tune out of Ozil if they got Cesc.
I wouldn't let Ozil play with himself. Never mind play for Arsenal football. Fucking hates that man.
Yeah, here it's fuck me. You know what I mean. I won't even go there. Excuse me. Was there any players from any teams in the Prem at the time you wished Arsenal could have signed? Warren?
I can't remember, mate, to be honest. 2014.
Ooh, 40. I suppose Tevez, was pretty good.
To be honest, I can't even remember. I
think back then, probably Tevez. Now, someone's going to get onto the computer and just go, Tevez was fucking on cocaine at that time of the season. I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Or retiring or whatever, you know. But, you know, I liked Tevez's sort of bite and attitude and get going and fucking, like Sanchez as well, like, you know, top class. And the upper tier, oh, Jesus, here's Liverpool's in the gaff. Big up Dell and the lads. What a player Dennis was. The goal against Newcastle was immense. Exactly. We're going to come up to that. I'm going to ask the two boys which was their best ever goal, Dennis Bergkamp goal. We'll hold it hot. We'll hold it tight. Hold on, people. Hold on. And if you're only tuning in, subscribe to Delboy Gunner TV. Check out Warren's Team Talks. There it is there. And check out Kyle Walsh Gunner. And please do check their channels out. Herbert Chapman is the only Arsenal manager to have a statue. Yeah, why is that? Should be more. Do you think if we never had any injury issues with Diaby, would have become one of the best midfielders? When fit, he could skip past players, break players up, score goals, smash them from far, and even head it in. I agree with you. He would have been up there with, like, I'm not saying the all-time greats, but I'm telling you, he would have been up there and he would have got in 95% of Premiership teams, because he was. I always remembered looking at him, begging him, oh please. His injuries were just a disaster, you know. And I was a bit sad when he left. You know, it was sickening for me because I thought he was such a good player, and I was going to be sick if he bounced at another club.
Tragic story.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he was really, really a good player. Like, you know, and Wenger rated him so highly, and he even gave him an extra contract, I think, of another year, because he knew well the type of player he had on his hands. For me, Graham was, without Graham, there would have been no Wenger, Chapman, or me. We're both gents, but I would have needed to be alive when they are. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, exactly. Is Arteta trying to be like George Graham, getting the 1-0, or is it because they aren't ruthless enough? Kyle, a quick answer to that?
No, I don't think he's trying to be a George Graham. I just think that they're not ruthless enough. How could you be ruthless enough with fucking Jesus, Neddy and Keaty up forward? You'd be lucky to fucking score a goal.
I'll move on. He had no fear of flying on the pitch, for sure. Exactly. Hi, Paul. Thank you for the well wishes. I hope you are well also, and have a great weekend ahead, Paul. The upper tier, you not wrong there. Exactly. Thank you for the kind words, B. I am going through a physiotherapist program now, but got over the worst part of pneumonia, Mr. B. Thank you for asking. I hope you're feeling well. 27 likes, smash them up. Please do smash them up. It helps me. Do you know what? Look, come here. It helps me get monetized. I couldn't give a flying fuck about getting monetized or you know, all this bollocks that people care about. I just talk shite, and you know, I love talking about Arsenal and listening and getting educated by people like the likes of Warren, Kyle Walsh, and the crew. Nell, glad it's working for you. World is a better place with you in it. Exactly. Subscribe to Delboy Gunner TV, Warren and Kyle's channels. Please do. Love always. And we'll just show. You love your dollar bills, exactly. Warren, sorry, go to the next slide there, please.
So goodbye and thanks. Thank you, Dennis. On the 17th of May 2006, Dennis was an unused substitute in his final match for Arsenal against Barcelona in the Champions League final, a game which Arsenal lost by 2-1 to Barcelona after having goalkeeper Jens Lehmann sent off and leading 1-0 until the final 13 minutes. Dennis was the focus of the first match at Arsenal's new ground, the Emirates Stadium, on the 22nd July 2006. A testimonial was played in his honour at the new stadium as Arsenal played his old club at Ajax. And goodbye and thank you, Dennis.
Yeah. On the 22nd of July 2006, I was in Miami. I was living in South Beach. I had a penthouse apartment, and I'm not fucking joking with you. I had qualified from me. I was an apprentice electrician and became qualified. And me and my mate says when we qualify, we'll go over to Miami and absolutely run amok. So for 4 years to get your trade, we saved a few quid every month. And Del Boy had 12 large grand in his fucking back pocket going over to Miami Beach. And he was living it up, smoking big Cuban cigars down to fucking the Playwright pub in Collins Avenue every night of the week. They knew who Del Boy was when they fucking left the place because Del Boy ran around. As it says, Conor McGregor, get out of the way, he's coming through. There was Brazilians, there was Argentinians going flying every time Del Boy came into the pub because they knew he wasn't going to fucking stop doing it. And I ruled the pool table as well. But I remember watching that game, and I'll tell you one thing, there was a tear in my eye because a legend of the game, a legend of, like, you know, my Arsenal sort of, you know, history of loving the club. It's sort of like, you know, I was just there. This is the end of an era for me, like, you know, with Dennis Bergkamp. And as it says, what was it, 95 when it started, my love affair with him started because he was such a good fucking player. And I remember sitting in a bar in Miami and, like, you know, sort of hiding me tear, you know, going down my face when I seen the final whistle blow and Dennis was there. And I know for some people it was, oh, we're in the Emirates and yay, fuck the Emirates. You know, for me, it was all about Bergkamp that day. What about you, Kyle?
Very emotional, very sad, very emotional there for me. Because not only was it the end of a legend, but it was the end of my favourite player of all time for Arsenal Football Club. And I said to myself, like, who have we got now that's going to be able to play football like him? I knew that we'd never see football like it again, Del Boy. Then this fucking dickhead came into the club. And everybody was saying the new Dennis Bergkamp, this fucking Mizu Ozil fella, clown. Oh, he's this and he's that. He's going to be... Lads, I swear to fuck, I don't ever want to hear anybody compare that prick to Dennis Bergkamp. Del Boy, we never had a player like Bergkamp since he left. No one will ever fill his boots as far as I'm concerned. Now we have this fucking Odegaard. Would you fuck off? There's only one Dennis Bergkamp. The man is a legend. The man is a football god. And he's sorely missed every single fucking weekend because we never see a player like him again. They can name out De Bruyne, they can name out the Silva, you can name out who the fuck you want in world football today. Nobody would ever be fit enough to tie his lessons, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm very emotional, Del Boy. And as I say, that void will never, ever be filled.
Yeah, look, I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. I remember being at a bar and, as I said, my mate that went over with me, he was there, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're bleeding in Miami, sun here, senoritas, you know, cocktails, Cuban cigars, you know what I mean? And you're sitting at a bar crying over some fella that played football. This fella that I went over with, Deco, right? knows nothing about football. You know what I mean? So I was just there. You don't understand. Just fuck off and leave me alone. I'll be over in an hour. Tell you one in the red. I like her, right? But anyway, you know what I mean. But yeah, Warren, what's your take on it?
Well, this game.
Well, yeah, the game and sort of like, you know, towards the end of it and the end of Dennis's career with Arsenal.
I think I was away when this game was being played and I wasn't able to see it, but I just remember I knew that in, and I just felt really sad because I knew it was an end of an era, and like Carl said, and I'm thinking, well, you know, who's going to be in the team? Who's going to do his job? And, you know, who are we going to get? And it's just, you know, then when Mesut Ozil arrived some years later, I was thinking, yeah, okay, this looks promising. But it was an abject disaster. He just wasn't up to it. He just wasn't interested, I believe. And yeah, it was just really sad. It was sad because we weren't at Highbury anymore. I don't like the Emirates Stadium. I can't stand the fucking place. It sums up for me everything that's wrong with Arsenal. The badge as well, that new plastic badge, I can't stand it. If you notice in my videos, I hardly ever use that new badge unless I absolutely have to. And, you know, Dennis was gone. Highbury was gone. It's not the same, mate, really.
Yeah.
You know, it's just sad all the way around, really.
Yeah. No, it was, you know, and yeah, like I'm not messing when I say that. Like I hit it hard. I did shed a tear. And like, you know, the bar I was in at the time, people are like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Like, you know, and my mate just goes, just leave him alone. Like, you know, and it took me a while. I was gutted because, as it says, it just brings me back from a big time in my life when I left Roscommon and I come up to Dublin, and the whole change of coming into a bigger school and an area where there's people all around you, let's say, compared to where I'm in the bog and there's no one around you, you know, you're a fucking sheep looking at you or something like that, you know, and you're celebrating with a sheep. Bergkamp's after Simon, you know. So yeah, it's to me, like, you know, that day in 2006 in July, I'll never forget it. Like, you know, when I'm in Miami, as I says, I should be happy. I'm happy, but it was probably a sad day in my life. Not the worst, but like, you know, it was a very sad day in my life. I just want to read this out for Mr. B. Hope you don't mind, Dale. But can I give a shout out on behalf of children in need as watching it at the moment, please? Everyone donate anything you can in these tough times to help unfortunate kids. And I have to back that up. Yeah, please do if you can. And I'll try to do that myself as well later on when I get off this. But please, yeah, children in need anything for that. 100%. Please do try and help out. I'll just read through one or two of these comments. Knocked our old friends Argentina out of the World Cup. Yeah. Mesa Froxo. Yeah. Darren, he scored a similar goal against Argentina against Leicester, if you remember. Yeah, and I'm going to come to that now in 2 seconds, actually. I remember this game was on Setanta Sports. Yeah, I don't know what I was on in fucking Miami, but it was bleeding on. Remember that, Mr. B? Can't remember anyone getting a goal like those two. Exactly. I think Kyle used to that earlier on. Dale by Warren Kyle, this has been a masterclass of a stream, just like how Dennis Bergkamp performance was on a pitch. Exactly. Darren, 100%. Now, I want to shout out my sister, right? My sister, by the way, she was on holidays one year. She rings me from fucking, I think it was Spain or wherever the fuck it was, right? So, Suzanne, I'm calling you out if you're watching. What did she do, right? She was in a restaurant, actually, in Spain. I don't know where the fuck it was, right? She rings me up. She goes, "You'll never guess who I'm sitting near. He's across the table from me." And I says, "Who?" "Dennis Bergkamp." I says, "Suzanne, don't mess with me. Don't fucking mess." She goes, "I'm not. Derek, I'm not." She calls me Derek. "Derek, I'm not." And I says, fuck off now. She goes, no, I swear to God. And I said, get over and get an autograph or fucking let him spit on you or something and bring it home to me, please. You know what I mean? And then, you know what she does? She went over to him, started talking to him. She goes, he was with his wife. It was him and his wife. She goes, he was a gentleman. I think he bought her a drink, her and her friend. She just went over. She goes, look, Dennis, my brother's a big Arsenal fan. I'm an Arsenal fan. And, like, you know, and he just started talking to her and he bought her a drink and stuff like that. And that's the type of chap he is off the field, just from my sister's point of view. But she didn't fucking get me any jersey, a napkin, nothing fucking signed. So I don't give a bollocks about your story, Suzanne. For fuck's sake, fuck off. Jesus Christ. So it means nothing to me. I've no memories of it. Warren, you want to go with the slide there, mate?
Yeah, there we go. So this is Dennis' Arsenal career stats. He played 416 games, scored 115 goals, which is 0.28 goals a game, and he created 95 assists.
What do you make of that, Kyle?
Top class. Absolute top class.
Like, the thing about it is, for me, some people will look at that and just go, well, 416 goals and only 416 games and only 115 goals. His game wasn't about goals. It was about setting up. Well, let's talk about Ian Wright. How many goals did he score? And as we said earlier on, the 98 season, just for example, Ian Wright, top goal scorer. I'd say nearly half of the goals that he scored, Bergkamp set him up. You know?
Yeah, Bergkamp wasn't an actual goal scorer, that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me, that's top class stuff there. Them stats are top class for a footballer of his type. You have to judge a player on what he was.
Yeah.
That's like saying, how many tackles did fucking Romario win in the back line throughout his career? You know what I mean? The man wasn't a defender. He wasn't a midfielder. He was an out-and-out goal scorer.
Like, for me, Bergkamp's career is like the Arsenal Invincibles. Okay? And people just go, oh, well, they drew 12 or whatever it was. But as Darren says, we're undefeated, yeah? So sit the fuck down. And that's like Bergkamp. You know what I mean? It wasn't about goals. It was about what he brought to the Arsenal team. Like, we looked at it there. We were losing, was it 3-2 or 3-1 against Middlesbrough, and we go and win the game 5-3.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. Okay? That's what we're fucking talking about when we talk about Dennis Bergkamp.
But the other thing is, do you see there the 3 Premier League titles? That could have easily been 5 or 6. We were only a couple of points away in a few of those seasons of winning the league title. Now, I know it's going to be 3 and no one will remember those league titles that we lost out on. But I'm just saying it could have easily been another 2 or 3 there on top of that. I think it's exceptional record. And as I keep repeating myself and I keep saying, to me, see that finger he has pointing number 1. That's what Dennis was to me. Number fucking 1.
Yeah. Warren?
Yeah, well, I think the stats speak for themselves. You know, he isn't an out-and-out goal scorer, and anyone who knows anything about football knows that. And, you know, for me, it just shows the quality of the player. And, you know, people referring him to number 10s and saying, oh, he's not as good as this one or he's not as good as that one. They just need to, like, get a grip, really. You know, certainly puts our current number 10 in the shade. You know,
that's a fact.
I'm sorry, but, you know, if we had James Maddison, maybe it'd be a different conversation. He'd be a bit closer, but not Odegaard. I'm sorry, no, it's just not. I've never rated the fella since the day he came. I just don't think he's good enough.
But it's like what Kyle would always say: the standards are set. You know,
Yep.
and some, let's say, young Arsenal fans, and it's no disrespect to them, or no, I'm not slagging them or anything like that, but like, you know, we've seen Bergkamp play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We like, you know.
No, Del, sorry to interrupt you, but when I was a young fella, I was watching the Tide in the mid to late 70s and whatnot. I'd never seen them win a league title and all this carry on. But I wasn't happy to accept a fourth place or a fifth place. I wanted us to win the title. We were getting linked to players, high quality, top class players, and I'd be getting excited because I thought it would give us a chance to win the league. Do you know what I mean? Not accepting like what we had and saying, yeah, okay, it's going to do us. And no. And this is where I get annoyed about it because I don't know. I just think I think there's more going on than the football. I think some of these people are, attracted to the club not because of the football, but because of the fact that the players, they like the way they look, they like the way they dress, they like their image and all this. And it's like I'm thinking, well, what the fuck's that got to do with football?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I just think it's all bullshit. And, let's get back to what's going on, and, this constant, nonsense about, how we're playing attractive football. We're not. We're grinding out results week after week after week. Winning 1-0 away at Wolves or 2-0 at Wolves, whatever it was. That game was fucking dreadful. The football was shite. It was like the fag end of the fucking George Graham era. We were dog shit. When we compare what the football we were seeing in 2002 under Arsene or the football we were seeing in 91 under George or when the team was playing well under Terry Neal with Liam Brady and Frank Stapleton and David O'Leary and all them guys. It's not even on the same fucking level. Never mind the better than. No, I'm sorry, mate. I'm not impressed. I'm not at all.
Warren, I don't disagree with you, and I'm sure a lot of people don't disagree with you. It's just the way footballers are now, and even Ronaldo's talking about it. It's this fucking for me. Look, Kyle will agree with me. What you watch Gaelic hurling, rugby, and they're men. Let's say playing sports or whatever. We're talking about a men's game here, not women's football. So don't fucking get at me there. But I'm just talking about when you get hit, you stay up. Like Neymar gets a touch on the shoulder, he's doing a somersault to dive. You know what I mean? Can you imagine Bergkamp doing that? He gets a touch in the face and dropping as if he's after getting shot.
Dead boy, I'm not a guy, man, at all. We have the Wexford hurling team here. And I'll be honest with you, I think I can name 2 players on the Wexford County team. I have no fucking interest in hurling. I have no interest in fucking Gaelic football. If the All-Ireland final was on in Gaelic football, I'd rather watch Coronation Street. If the hurling was on in the All-Ireland final hurling, I would watch that boy. And I'm going to tell you something. Them lads will make a show of our soccer players.
Yeah.
Them lads goes in getting bursted open with hurls, slitters, shoulders, elbows, you name it. And they're getting fuck all money for it. And it gets up and it plays on. I see lads getting hurls broke across them. And they're still playing.
Yeah.
These fucking pansies are getting fucking touched. And they're running around, you swear they're getting fucking shot by a fucking machine gun. It's an absolute fucking embarrassment.
Exactly.
And I'm going to tell you something there, boy. They should be putting a fucking stop to it because it's destroying the game.
It is, yeah, 100%.
The referees should have get the fuck up. And if you dive like that again, you're getting a red card. Ain't the fucking story. It should come from the management. I tell you something, it should come from the captain. Because if I was in a fucking dressing room and my fucking wankers were diving around like that, I swear to fuck the diver, right? The dive after the game, because I break their fucking face in the locker room. And I said, there's a reason to dive now, you fucking bollocks.
Yeah.
Your mother, your father, your brothers and your sisters, even your children could be sitting in the stadium watching you playing football. And you fucking crying around like a baby. And you're not even after getting touched. Go fuck off. And you get £200,000 a week for it. Don't make. I swear to God, that boy is destroying the game. I love football. Yeah. I love this sport. This sport is my life. But it's fucking getting destroyed by these fucking assholes diving around.
I agree 110% with you. Like, I played hurling as well. I've county medals for it and all. Like, you know what I mean? I'm a fucking leader. I'm a champion. You know, I broke me 2 collarbones playing the fucking sport. And one of the times I broke me collarbones, I actually played on. I didn't even know my collarbone was broken. And I swear to God, I may drop dead. And I went up to try and catch a ball and just went, what the fuck? I says, is this the menopause? I says, oh no, the menopause is only for women. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. You know what I mean? Fuck me. But Jesus Christ, I agree with you because it is ruining the sport. And we're going to see it in the World Cup. You know what I mean? All these diving around and all this shite. It fucking does my fucking... Yeah. I'll just read out 1 or 2 of these comments. I just want to catch up with everyone. Del Boy Warcon, this is being a massacre. Sorry, I've read that. I think... I remember one season I thought he was finished too old and we should have sold Bergie, but fuck, he proved me wrong and went on to have a great season. A brilliant show again. Well done all. Amazing stuff. Fair play, Paul. Thank you. Nice one, Derek's sister. Yeah, Derek. Derek Trotter, mate. If Bergie had carried on longer, would he have beaten Henry or Shearer? I don't think so, just because the way he played football, you know, and that's no disrespect or anything against him. Like, you know, he was a scorer of great goals, not a great goal scorer.
Exactly,
Darren. That's exactly what I was looking for. Exactly. Odegaard is nowhere near him, DB. Darren, why did you even put the 2 of them in the same sentence? Shame. You're going the naughty step for that, Darren. Odegaard shouldn't be captain either. Should be Ramsdale or Tierney. Yeah, I agree with that. And I always say we are proud and we are passionate and we are the Arsenal. Exactly, Paul. Come on, the Gunners. Highbury atmosphere was 100 times better than the Emirates. Come here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree 110% with that. I remember from going to Highbury, was at Highbury a few times, and then next thing going to the Emirates, and I was just like looking around, going, where's everyone gone? Like, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I could not believe it. And I went home. I was heartbroken because I from being in the fucking North Bank and fucking squashed up beside people and fucking everyone screaming and, you know, yes, I love this. I'm fucking loving this next into the Emirates. Yay, let's all hold hands and kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. Like, what the fuck? We're here to support Arsenal, you bleeding mad fuckers. Jesus Christ. Players who go down and simulate injury should be booked. Leave diving to Tom Daly. Exactly. Do you know what you should do? And this is what you should do in men's football I'm talking about. If you dive, you get a pink card. And do you know what that means? It doesn't mean you get suspended or anything. You don't get a booking or anything. It just means you're a fucking bollocks. You're a fucking idiot. That's what that pink card means. And it just means get up, you tick fuck. That's what it means.
Means you're a pussy.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Let's do the pink card. Del Boy and Kyle, your rants are special. Love them. Can you ask Warren to have one? Oh, Jesus, here. Me and fucking Kyle are like puppy dogs here. When Warren gets going, woo-hoo, I'm leaving the group here. I'm leaving the stream to him. He fucking loses the plot. Football isn't what it was like in the 70s, 80s, or 90s. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Chelsea v Leeds in the 70s. War. Exactly. Warren, do you have another...
Yeah, I just wanted to say as well that Carl, when he starts going off on a rant, reminds me of Joe Loughnane. That's
where I think he he puts his management style like that. You know what I mean? you know. Let's go. Dennis Bergkamp, total career.
So it's his total career statistics. With Arsenal, he made 416 appearances, scored 115 goals, 95 assists. Ajax, 238 appearances, 121 goals, 23 assists. Inter Milan, 72 appearances, 22 goals, 4 assists. The under-21s of Ajax, he played 3 times, scored 2 goals, don't know the assists. And the same for the under-19 appearances, 3 goals, don't know the assists. Totals, 732 games, 263 goals, and 122 assists. So I don't think it's that bad, especially for a second striker. In fact, I think it's very good.
Yeah, like you even look like, let's say the under 20, the under 19s, under 20s, 21, sorry. They obviously seen, oh, this guy is special. So from the under 19s, promote him straight away. Under 21s, get him into the senior team. He's only playing 3 appearances. That's from what I'm gathering from that, like, you know. And then obviously, like, you know, Inter Milan, did he run out of patience with him, do you think?
I just think he got fed up with the negative football because he doesn't like negative football. And that's part of Dutch culture. They like attacking, aggressive football. They don't like this Catenaccio style of football that the Italians like. So it was a bit of a culture clash, and that's why I don't think it worked out.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, actually, yeah, it's like the coins dropping with me here just because you said that, Warren. Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. And the Premiership at the time, like he was moving into the Premiership as it was starting to grow, and he accelerated it. You know, like the even the culture, the way he ate. You know, you hear Ian Wright talking about, we're going for a few points after training. Bergkamp said, what the fuck are you talking about? What's a few points? What are you talking about? Like, there was no such thing. That wasn't in his game at all. Like, you know, yeah, like outstanding. Go ahead.
I'm pressed that by mistake. Sorry, guys.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Dennis's international career, he made his international debut for the Dutch national team against Italy on the 26th September 1990 as a substitute for Frank de Boer. He scored his first goal for the team against Greece on the 21st of November 1990, against Wales in the 1998 FIFA World Cup qualification on the 9th of November 1996. He scored his first hat-trick for the national team. And at the 90 World Cup in France, Dennis scored 3 times in the competition, including a memorable winning goal in the final minute of the quarterfinal against Argentina. So if I go to the next slide, I think, we see this goal here, and it talks about it. He says he took the one touch to control a long 60-yard aerial pass from Frank de Boer, brought the ball down through an Argentine defender, Roberto Ayala's legs. It wasn't shabby, by the way, and finished by firing a volley with the outside of his right foot past keeper Carlos Roa at a tight angle. Dennis claimed that it was his favourite career goal in his career and was his 36th for the national team, overtaking Fas Wilkes as the record goal scorer. In the semi-finals, the Netherlands lost to Brazil on penalties. However, Dennis made the all-star team of the tournament alongside Frank de Boer and Edgar Davids.
I'll say mine now. I think this was probably one of his best ever goals. I remember watching this game live, and Frank de Boer, when he hit the ball, like it wasn't the goal itself; it was just the control of it. And what I was talking about earlier on, the ball he launched it, and it like I don't think there's many players now. I could, if there is, I could probably count them on me one hand. He like the come over his head and he's just watching it coming down. Now, you have to think it's coming from a long way. So if it bounces, it's just gone straight out of play. So he has to, I know you're going to laugh at this, but caress it down. You know what I mean? If you just leave your boot there, it's just going to bounce off it. But he has to go with the ball. And this is what I'm talking about is world class. There's only one other player I've seen do what Bergkamp done that day, and it was Zidane. It's a long ball coming over the top, and to be able to like take the ball on your foot, like it's not about just putting your foot there and just letting the belt. Like you have to bring the ball down with you, and that's what Bergkamp done. And then to actually just turn and put it onto his right foot and the outside of the right foot and in the goal. And as you said, Warren, these defenders and the goalie, they're not fucking half-arsed. And no disrespect to the Newcastle goal or to Andy O'Brien, but just to do all that in motion, you know what I mean? Like take the ball down, take the turn and hit it on the right side of your foot. You know, that's why I love that goal. You know,
that thing about that goal as well, Del, it didn't fucking touch the ground. The ball came over, it sort of controlled it and like flicked it to his other foot and then smashed it in with the other foot. So he used both feet. He used one to control it and then he used the other one to fucking put it in the net. It was insane. The skill of that is just off the scale. It really is.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. Like, and please do go and watch it again. Like, if you're watching this and just look at that goal again. Like, as you said, it didn't touch the ground. It was just control, and then, oh mate, like seriously, like I know I'm not taking away. Like, I'm talking about these goals. Like, there's hairs splitting them. The Leicester City goal as well for me. Absolutely outstanding. The three. Go ahead, Kyle. Sorry.
His top 3 goals for me. This one is number 3. The second goal is the goal against Leicester when David Plass passed it over and he just made a holy divine show of Matt Edias. Or Mark, is it Mark or Matt? And the number 1 goal for me, I still stand by, is the Newcastle goal. They're my 3 Dennis Bergkamp goals.
Yeah, well, all 3 of those goals are off the scale. They really are. It's just, you know, you could pick them in any order you wanted. You know, do you know what I mean? It's just they're just all 3 of them crazy goals. But the thing about this goal is that it was the sort of thing you would expect to see from like one of these what they call freestylers. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't a normal thing to see on a football field. Do you know what I mean? It's not something you could do on a Sunday morning over at the park.
No.
You know, it was just fucking ridiculous. It really was. And, you know, I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking about him. And I'm just thinking what it would have been like to have him and fucking Chippy in the same team.
Oh.
Can you imagine fucking Chippy at his peak playing with Dennis at his peak?
Unbelievable.
Henri as well. Fucking hell, it would have been insane.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, right? So, you know the way we have our, let's say, Friday night chats and sort of gone back in time and stuff like that. I probably think next week I want to do a show where I want to get a few legends on here, like, you know, yourselves. And then I want to get this fella on here. I want to get Paul on. Because I'll tell you, Paul is an absolute legend. He knows his stuff about Arsenal as well. And big up to Paul. So you want to do a rant. Let's have you, Paul, right? What we'll do is, I wouldn't mind doing a show of, see the way, Warren, you've done a show of, let's say, the Ireland, let's say, starting 11. do a few, like, let's say myself, yourself, Kyle, and whoever else wants to join in, Paul or whatever, and we sort of try and pick a team of a best Arsenal 11. And let's see, does the likes of Dennis Bergkamp, does Chippy Brady get on a team? We say nothing, but let's pick a team between a few of us and see where we go. Would you be interested?
Absolutely.
100%, mate. 100%.
That'd be great. That'd be great. And Darren and whoever else wants to join in, 100%. Please DM me. If you aren't interested in that, DM me and let me know. Go ahead, Warren.
So this is his international stats. He started his international career for the under-21s on March 1989, and he made 2 appearances for the under-21s. And then about 18 months later, I guess, he was playing for the full national team. He scored 79 goals and got 37 assists. So in total, he had 81 goals and 37 assists. So yeah, it's pretty impressive, really. When you look at it.
Like for assists and goals, I always just add the two of them together and just put the sort of, like, that for me, like, because you can't have a goal without an assist.
Dave.
Exactly.
Remember back what I said about an hour and a half ago on your show? I said that Dennis Bergkamp is the best Dutch player I ever saw. Just look at that stat there in front of you.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, Dave. It's an unbelievable stat. And not only that, but look at the slides there a couple of minutes ago. That goal against Argentina. You name me another Dutch player that would do that.
Oh, he's been building this up. Fair play to you, Kyle. Yeah.
Different class, Dave. Different class.
Hard to disagree with that. Hard to disagree with it. I think Warren's thinking. I can hear him from here.
The only player that I think could have done it would have been Johan Cruyff, but I think he would have struggled. But then they had so many quality players. Do you know what I mean? But Dennis is one on his own, and I was thinking maybe Van Basten, but Van Basten wasn't a number 10. He was an out-and-out goal scorer, so he probably wouldn't. I mean, that goal that Van Basten scored against the Soviet Union in the Euro 88 final, was fucking unbelievable. It really was. The way he just fucking volleyed that in, it was insane. Hullet, maybe.
Yeah. Cruyff.
I don't know, man. It just annoys me because I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about what we said right near the beginning of the show about the coaching of young players, and why? I can't imagine the Dutch FA has got bucket loads of money either, but it's like a production line. But I'm going to stop because I can feel myself really angry.
You can probably see steam coming out of my fucking ears now, because I'll tell you one thing. No, do you know what? I'll leave it there. If you want to hear my rant, go on to me live stream. Go on to the last few minutes of it after the final kickoff, and I go at it. Yeah, I'll park that there, and I fucking mean every word of it I said. All them fat fucking bastards in the FAI. You fucking cunt. Sorry if there's any kids watching, but you shouldn't be watching. It's 10:20 at night. Do you have another live stream there of unicorns and fucking rainbows and clouds or something like that? All right, that's even better. Calm me down.
Tone down. Tone us down. So on the 22nd of February 2014, Arsenal unveiled a statue to Dennis Bergkamp outside Arsenal's Emirates Stadium clock end. Mr. Ken Fryer, who unveiled the statue, said Arsenal Football Club is proud that this statue of Dennis Bergkamp will be on display outside the Emirates Stadium. He said, Dennis contributed so much to the club, where at the same time treating Arsenal fans to some of the most exciting football ever seen in this country. Dennis said of his statue, I am just so honoured, and today makes me very proud. It is great to come back and see everyone at Arsenal again. And I don't remember this, but apparently he was in tears when this statue was unveiled. I mean, I can't remember it, but it wouldn't surprise me. But that is just unbelievable. And Dennis, where is it? Everyone knows I love Arsenal. I had such great love. The fans, the staff, and my teammates were fantastic. The team was also amazing. A lot of over the years. For me and my family, it was such an important and enjoyable period in our lives. This is such a special moment to come back and be honoured in this way. I mean, you know, I'm emotional now just thinking about it.
Yeah, like for me, when I go over to the Emirates, I always touch the statue, and Zach does as well when he does be with me, and it's just the memories that he's given me. And as I says, it was such a big turning point in my life, from moving up from where I grew up and him signing, and it just reminds me of everything of my childhood, like, you know, a big, huge part. And that's why I wanted to do Dennis Bergkamp. You know, it was a huge part in my life, and I want to sort of thank Arsenal for giving a statue, because he deserves it. He deserves a statue outside the Emirates. You know, the only thing I hate, I fucking hate it about this regime or whatever, that they don't have him involved in the club. You know, Ian Wright has met him, so there's easily contact. It's not as if he's fucking living on an island and he doesn't have a mobile phone and no one can contact him. Arsenal can easily pick up the phone and say, please get involved in the club. If I'm a do and I'm after getting this fucking sporting director shit, which he won't, by the way, but if I was, you know what I mean? Because let's say I'm an Invincible, but guess who was the one of the, let's say, leading pack in the Invincibles? It was Dennis Bergkamp. I'm ringing him up in the morning and I'm telling him, Dennis, I need you in the club. What position do you want? Any position. You need to be here, because you are an absolute fucking legend for Arsenal, and you need to be like. Are you not telling me Jesus, Odegaard, Saliba, you know, Eddie Nketiah, you know, would not fucking stand and genuflect to this man if he walked into the dressing room? Because if they don't, you fuck them out of the club straight away.
Do you think they'd actually listen to him now? Because I'm telling you, I don't think the likes of Ben White, Eddie Nketiah would listen to him. I really don't. Adele, I don't think these players, half of them, don't care about football. I mean, Ben White has even been on record as saying he don't like football. So I'm thinking, what are you fucking doing? If that was me, and he said he didn't want to watch videos about football so that he could learn and develop, and he said he didn't like football, he would be on the transfer list. I said it the day we fucking signed him, and he said it on that video. Get him out. I don't want him here. I fucking hate the cunt. Excuse my language, but I do. I hate him because he's everything I dislike about modern football. He doesn't give a shit about Arsenal. He doesn't care about the fact that he's a footballer. There are people, young kids like young Zach, who would fucking kill to have the opportunity to have the career that he's having. And he's like, oh, well, you know, I don't really like it. What?
No.
No, fuck off then. We don't want you. Because when push comes to shove, right, and we're playing in the Champions League final, we're 1-0 down with 5 minutes to go, and we need to get a goal. Do you think he's going to bust a fucking gut to get the goal? No, he ain't.
No, 100%. Like it all comes down to like who's running the club, who's in charge, and who's everything like that, right? Like if it was me running the fucking club, I go in and I tell everyone in the dressing room, if you walk down the corridor and Dennis Bergkamp's walking down the corridor, you fucking get down on your hands and knees and you genuflect to him and fucking treat him like the Pope. Because this is how good of a fucking footballer he was. And until you are that good, and until you have a statue outside that stadium, you fucking get down on your knees and you fucking, like, you know, praise him. Because I understand what you're saying with Ben White and stuff like this, and I seen the thing on the England YouTube channel and stuff like that, and someone, I don't know, they flicked his hair or something like that. I think he nearly blew a blood vessel because someone touched his hair.
But there you go. I mean? Fuck off. Do you know, send him out. Oh, if I was Gareth Southgate, he would have been on the fucking first plane back again.
If I was Gareth Southgate, he wouldn't be on the fucking plane in the first place.
Well, no, I'd fucking chop him up and feed him to the sharks. I'll end up with the same. I need to be careful what I say there because I'll end up in the same fucking boat as the fella from Hibs who is going on about Morales, Rangers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not fucking acceptable. You know, these people, honestly, they wouldn't last 5 minutes at certain other clubs. Well, you know the club I'm talking about. If they behaved like that at that club, they would be out the fucking door. And this is the way it should be at our club. It's just not acceptable. Can you imagine George Graham putting up with all that shit?
No, not a hope. Not a hope.
I have to say something there, Dale. I think it was Mr. B there. He put up out there, is there a statue of Perez outside the stadium? Mm-hmm. The answer to that, my friend, is there's not. But there should be. In my eyes, there should be. Because Perez is a hero to me. I loved that man. I fucking loved Robert Perez.
What was it about him that you loved? Like, you know, why?
I just thought he was an exceptional player. The going down that flank, he was devastating. Gary Neville once said that he was the most difficult opponent he ever played against. Perez was a living nightmare for defenders. And the passes he done, the goals he scored, he was a beautiful player to watch. Brilliant. You wouldn't even see his feet touch the ground when he was running. Just glided along the ground. Oh, jeez, he was a fucking brilliant player.
Yeah. And look, Warren, do you want to cap it off there?
Yeah, no, it's just I put the first screen at the end. I always do that. And then I put some clapping hands to just applaud the talent that he was and what a great man he was. And, you know, he's the epitome of what, for me, everything about what Arsenal Football Club should be about. You know, him, David O'Leary, Liam Brady, Wilson, you know, George Graham, they're Clark. I don't know. People are going to go on about the Bung scandal and all the rest of it. But he's that wanker, Edu, done any worse. Fucking all the backhanders that he's had from these football clubs in Brazil so that we could sign all these players. Paying for players that are that were available on a free transfer, but we decided to give the club £500,000 or whatever it was. I'm sorry, no. It's all bullshit. If they wanted to sort out George with a statue, which he should have, they could do it, but they're just not interested. They're not. And the fact that all that fucking corruption and fucking dodgy deals that have been going on at this club since Edu has been there, I just think it's an absolute disgrace. And they're going to give him a fucking promotion. Jesus Christ. This club's a fucking joke. It's a joke. I don't give a shit that we're top of the league and only drawn one and lost one all season. It's not fucking acceptable. You cannot behave like that. This is Arsenal Football Club. We're not fucking some dodgy fucking third world country bank. Fucking get a grip and do things properly. We've got a reputation and a fucking culture of doing things the right way. What fucking all this fucking ducking and diving and fucking dodgy deals. It's like a fucking cross between fucking Del Boy Trotter and fucking Minder. Fucking It's a joke, mate. Honestly, it is, and I'm fucking sick of all this bullshit all the fucking time.
Yeah, like, but see, the thing about it is, like, I seen small bits of the Ronaldo interview and stuff like that, and the way football has gone, and like, you know, he's a spoiled brat himself, and like, you know, that's the way these fucking arseholes are. You know, unfortunately, there might be one or two players out there that want to go down the, like, you know, the honest route and, like, you know, be a club legend and stuff like that. But you're not going to get, like, let's say, Tony Adams, like, you know, a one club legend, or, you know, it's never going to be like that again. And as you said, Kyle, with the diving and all this bollocks, like, you know, football is now just about making money, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I think we need to go back to basics and just enjoy the game. It like these fucking corporations and all this bollocks and FIFA, fuck them out the door. Fuck off. Because we all know the Qatar World Cup should never have been fucking there. It should never have been there. Why are we changing this to fucking suit multi-billionaires? And that just shows you it's in Qatar because these fuckers are multi-billionaires and I can change the world. And guess what? They can. Because money can change the fucking world. To suit what? A World Cup that's going to be absolutely fucking shit. And before it even takes off, I'm going to tell you that it's going to be shite. There's going to be no atmosphere at the fucking grounds. And don't give me all this shit that I will. Someone sent me a fucking video today showing me there was a bed in a corporate box. A bed in a corporate box. What the fuck would a bed be in a corporate box? Because you're too tired at that time.
Why is there...
I'm not fucking
seriously. Why is there a bed in a corporate box in a fucking football stadium?
I'm telling you now.
That is fucking ridiculous.
I'm not joking. I'll put it up on my Instagram if you want. Seriously.
Unbelievable.
Send me this. And the stadium is actually like a five-star hotel.
I do, but I just find it fucking unbelievable.
Destroying
in there as well.
Yeah.
There's a washing machine in there and a fucking, I don't know, a fucking PlayStation. I mean, what's it all about?
Shocking.
I'll tell you one thing. If I seen some fucker in a bed, I wouldn't give a, oh, he's an oil baron from fucking Azerbaijan. Well, guess what? He's getting fucked onto the pitch, him and the fucking bed. Fuck off. Like, seriously.
Fucking betting on some
it's a fucking joke.
Yeah, for fuck's sake.
Man, I'm going to have to leave us because I was supposed to be down having pints in Uruguay. So,
Jesus, yeah, we better
wrap up. But come here to tell you, big up to you, Del Boy, for having me on your show. It's always a pleasure. Warren, always great to share the screen with a legend. Big up to the chat. Everybody, please subscribe and like and all the rest of us. You know yourselves now at this stage what to do. And I'd just like to sign off by saying this. There's only one Dennis Bergkamp. No one will ever replace him. Fuck you, Ozil, and fuck you, Odegaard. Two useless bastards together. Anyway, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Stay tuned to Kyle Watch Gunner because I'm doing a video about another legend. A man called Tony Adams.
Yes.
Number one. But lads, big up to you all. There's only one Bergkamp. On that note, I'm out. Talk to you then, man. I'll 2 pints.
Enjoy you.
I will indeed.
Here. I'm down your end of the country now, probably next weekend, actually, so if you hear Waterford is after getting turned into a car park, don't mind it. It's only Del boys down there, all right?
No hassle. Yeah, I'll give you a DM there, Dave.
Yeah, 100%.
Warren, I'll give you a text there during the week.
All right, mate. You take
Big
care.
up to you.
Have a good night. Cheers, buddy.
So, Wexford's going on fire tonight. No, big up. Fair play to Kyle coming on. I do love his his passion for the club. And at the end of the day, someone like me and Kyle and yourself, Warren, I'm passionate about Arsenal. I mental. I love Irish, me international team, and I love Arsenal, and I just want the best for the club. I don't care whatever. If we're winning leagues, happy days. Let's fucking keep going and win more leagues and Champions Leagues and everything like that. And Kyle's the same. We have standards, and like everyone in the chat as well. It's just everyone's opinion. Everyone has a different opinion. But I just think, and I think Paul said it there, a good thing. We're all gunners. We all have different opinions. We all support the one club. I go out beside my fucking bar now, and I'll probably go into my local pub, and my lads there, United Liverpool fans, going, Del, why you about bollocks you? You're fucking this and you're that, and Arsenal will be getting nosebleed, and they'll be fucking down, getting relegated. Yeah, that's grand. That's your opinion. But shut the fuck up, because I have an army behind me, a fucking army behind me. I just want to read out a few of these comments, Warren, before we wrap it up. 1 second there. Jesus, I have a few to go through, I think. Sorry, let me see. Yes, that's you. He has done great, Mr. B. Life in fairness, but he needs a word said to him about his attitude in interviews. They're talking about Odegaard. Oh, no, sorry, Ben White. Yeah. I understand that. And that's fair enough.
After my rant.
Yeah. Was a Balatic goal against Newcastle. All the managers get backhanders. Yeah, do you know what they probably fucking do? Just shut up and sit down and just make your money, because let's be honest about it. Managers nowadays are they're the company, if you know what I mean. So you're bringing your company in to manage this team, this business. That's the way it is. Trust me. You know what I mean? Emery will say, for example, he is his coach and staff. Pep Guardiola, Klopp, they all have all their coaching staff. And then if they get lifted out of Liverpool, for example, they go on, and where are they going to go? Oh, they'll go to Bayern Munich or whatever the fuck it is. It's all the same. Corruption is everywhere, not just Qatar. 110%. And guess what, Darren? It's in the FAI, the fucking Irish. I'll leave it. Check out me live stream. Check the last 15, 20 minutes of it. I lose the plot. If you want to see me losing the plot about Ireland, that's where it is. And I won't do it here tonight because I'm talking about Arsenal. I'm talking about the great Dennis Bergkamp.
About that comment. It is everywhere, but it doesn't mean to say that we have to fucking accept it. Because I refuse to accept it. Fucking, this is Arsenal Football Club. We've never had this bullshit. It's only since the fucking Cronkies have come that this has been starting to creep in. And there's another reason why I want them out. Simple. Yeah.
I'd love to see all the money disappear and clubs go back to being small businesses. Exactly. 110 fucking % with that. They should be capping wages. They should be given to charity. No, given to grassroots football. You know what I mean? Let's say, for example, now, I don't know if many people see this. And fucking that Gary Neville prick face, dickhead, him and his Salford football team, okay? So he came into the League of Ireland and they wanted one or two players, unknown players, okay, in the League of Ireland. And they offered, we'll just say, 100 grand for this player. And the League of Ireland, who have contracts with these players and are getting into the Europe, Shamrock Rovers got into the Europa Conference League, respectable league, I suppose. They get into that. And then Salford City, Gary Neville's team, are offering peanuts for players out of Shamrock Rovers. Who the fuck are you, Gary Neville, to fucking go around and just go, well, you're only a Mickey Mouse team, we're an up-and-coming team, and I'm a chairman, and I'm this. Fuck you, Gary Neville. So, like, I take fucking that dickhead. His fucking opinions are bollocks to me. You know what I mean? Oh, yes. Oh, the gay rights and workers' rights and everyone's rights. But guess what? I'll go and work for fucking Qatar, fucking, is a BN Sports or something like that, and get a few million. You fucking wanker. Fuck off. As Mr. B said, give it to the children's charity, yeah? You fucking dickhead. He fucking has enough money to fucking buy millions and millions of fucking houses, and yet the prick will sell his fucking soul to fucking for his stance on fucking humanity and all this bollocks. He doesn't give a flying fuck about anyone that built them stadiums, that was killed in them stadiums, because there's people that now have family that will not go back home. But Gary Neville will get a few million quid. Will he? Will he give any of that to fucking charity? I fucking doubt it. And what a dickhead he is. Fucking asshole. Maybe spritz at the World Cup, Del, but yeah, exactly. Being a booze band now as well. Well, this is it. It's going to be a shit World Cup, let's be honest about it. That's a little harsh on it, do. Look where we are now. Opinions are great. That's why we love them. Exactly. Look, opinions. Enjoy the World Cup, dudes. It will be fine, Eager. Let's England. Exactly. Look, I hope it is a good world, and I hope I'm fucking wrong. Big tune. The bed there for Arteta and Xhaka. He loves granite. Exactly. I totally agree with Del Boy, who had every known about Qatar anyway. Exactly. You know what I mean? This is the thing. But I hope it is a good World Cup. I hope it is. I will be enjoying the games myself, and I'll probably do a watch along for something or whatever. Red Army! Exactly. Evening, lads. Top 10 battles. What's the bleeding story? Love your new intro, by the way. As far as Qatar is concerned, money talks and bullshit walks. And yeah, exactly. And bullshit being fucking Gary fucking Neville. Mr. B, spot on. And Neville was a prick as a player too. Should be expected. Yeah, I suppose. What would we ever fucking expecting from Gary Neville? Boo to Neville. And he's given all. No, do you know what? I'm not even going there. Warren, let's say your last few words on Dennis Bergkamp, and then let's say what you have coming up in your show.
Okay, so my last words from Dennis Bergkamp, I think, with utmost respect to Thierry Henry and Liam Brady, I think he's probably the best player that Arsenal have ever had. He's just on a different level, you know. And my favourite goal that he ever scored for me is that goal against Argentina in the World Cup. It was just insane. It really was. So, yeah. And what's coming up on my channel? Tomorrow at 2:30, I've got my Match Day live show. Tomorrow, there's no Premier League or Championship games, so it's going to be about League One and potentially League Two as well. I'm not really sure how it's going to go because I've never done a show where it's just those two leagues. So we'll see what happens. It should be entertaining, that's for sure.
Yeah,
so yeah, that's what's coming up. And Del, thanks ever so much for letting me come on your channel and do this with you and Carl tonight. And I've absolutely loved it.
I have to say, look, Warren, without you, this Friday night stuff wouldn't be happening. And please do, people, never mind me, seriously, check out Warren's Team Talks. Like, you know, the slides and everything like that was done tonight was all by Warren. Nothing to do with me at all. I'm only talking shite when I see stuff. Memories getting, thrown up in my face, and I'm loving it all. Warren puts a lot of work into all this, and please do, just to show a bit of respect and a bit of love his way, please do subscribe to his channel. And I want to say as well to everyone who in the chat, to the likes of Mr. B, Paul, Darren, Craig, and lots more. Like, Jez was there. A lot more people, and a big shout out to Kyle Walsh Gunner as well for coming on. I really do appreciate it. He was supposed to be going out. He even said it to me beforehand. I just says, just jump off whenever you can. And he he stayed as long as he could because he loves the man, Dennis Bergkamp. Like, you know, and let's say, look, just my thoughts on Dennis Bergkamp. As it says, I'm surprised I didn't get emotional, like, you know, tonight because, as I said, it was a big turning point in my life. With like, I made a big change, like, you know, in my life, moving up from the countryside to a big city, Dublin, and stuff like that. And he just reminds me of everything, like, you know, from signing was basically in or around the same time as I moved up. And then when, like, you know, I was growing into a man, and I'm in Miami Beach, and I'm looking at him playing his last game, and it was very emotional for me. And like, you know, I know Dennis Bergkamp will never look at this, but I just want to thank him personally for being there for sort of me when he didn't realize he was there, and gave me so much enjoyment. The football he played, the goals he scored, you know, was breathtaking. And I'm not the only person that will say that. You know, Warren here beside me will say the exact same thing. The guy was an absolute magician with a football. I could never ever do what he done with a football. And trust me, I have tried hours and hours and hours trying to do it. When I was a kid, me and my best friend was a wall. And I'm not joking with you. I just used to kick the ball against the wall thousands and thousands of times a day, thinking I will get there one day to be Bergkamp. And unfortunately not. I never did control the ball like he did against Argentina. I never did turn Matt Elliott inside out. I never did turn Andy O'Brien and put him on his arse and turn my body the opposite way and put it into a top corner. I never done that. But I'll tell you one thing. There's a guy on planet Earth called Dennis Bergkamp, and he done that. And he is a statue outside the Emirates Stadium. And if you're ever going by it, touch his foot and say, thanks, Dennis Bergkamp, for the memories. And I'll leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. And I love you all. And thanks a million for everyone that has liked and subscribed and put a comment in the chats. And I really do appreciate it. And you'll see me in the comments on Warren's Team Talks tomorrow. And I'm really looking forward to it. Thanks a million again, Warren. And thank you, everyone who has joined in. And you'll see me again definitely for Friday night. And we'll come up with another plan, and I'll let you all know. So keep an eye out on the channel and hit a notification bell. And on that note, Dennis Bergkamp, wherever you are an absolute legend, and you've made many a man cry, and you've made many a man proud, and you've made many an Irish man as proud as can be.